Hey guys, thanks for listening to The Cynical Nerd. Please keep in mind that we do not avoid spoilers for any of our topics, whether they are current or past media. Listen at your own risk. I think I'll just go ahead and start.
Okay.
I have trouble making decisions on my own, so I'm glad you sort of took the reins there.
I think it's a great idea, and I understand where you're coming from, but I just want you to hear me through. I think you should stop what you're doing and just start.
Okay. You know what? I actually already did it the first time you said it, so we're good to go now. Whenever you're ready to start, you can start.
Oh, all right. Thanks to our sponsor this week, Aha. They make caffeinated seltzers. Really appreciate you sending me that whole case. They're delicious.
It's really a bad marketing name, though, isn't it? Aha. Hey, can I get an aha? It's really like
that's a good point. Sounds stupid.
Hey man, you got any ahas in the fridge? It's just very like, what?
Yeah, luckily they're usually sold in boxes that you don't have to request them from people. Like they must have the marketing was like, look, this is a fuck up. It's Greg's fault.
Yeah.
But as long as we're not selling them behind a counter where people have to embarrass themselves.
Right.
And ask for it.
Yeah, that's the
Then we should be completely okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm recentering my camera at this exact moment. You may be able to tell that. I think that's. I'm good. I'm evading sickness. Like really, I have the surgery coming up.
That's actually like the Matrix.
Our second to last episode pre-surgery, and my kid is sick, and I'm staying away from him. He comes in for a hug. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I want nothing to do with you and your snot.
Don't touch me.
I've been hugging him down here, like doing these hugs, like where his head's here. And then I change my shirt. I'm like, I'm not taking any fucking risks. I'm getting this surgery done.
See you later.
No, I'm doing good. I'm taking a lot of vitamin C, a lot of Centrum 1 a day for men. I took a crazy shit. I think it's from the vitamins. That's my theory.
Okay.
That's based in nothing at all. I just think that's what it is.
When you say crazy shit, do you mean weird color, weird texture, weird smell?
Every single one of the things that you just said.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Okay. It was like a new experience for everyone. It was very, it's just sort of like my senses were alight across the board. It was pretty interesting. I won't go into details. I don't want to scare anyone away in the first 2 minutes of the episode, but just trust me, it was disgusting.
Before we get into anything else, I always forget to do this. And I'd like to get it out on Front Street, as someone around here used to say all the time. Might have been me. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok at The Cynical Nerd, and YouTube. Our YouTube handle at The Cynical Nerd is now also ours in our clutches. Instagram still evades us. You can find us on those platforms. You can ask us questions. You can email us at questions@thecynicalnerd.com, which until this minute, I forgot to check because I do this every week. And then I check it while you're giving an opinion on some random doc, and I only kind of half hear what you say. But it's exciting for me because I get to listen back to the episode, and it's like partially a new conversation.
The first time. Yeah, right. I get it.
Right.
You should look up more information while I'm talking.
Best pork chop recipes. So you can find us on those things. You can email us there. We have a merch store open. You can find that and the link on anything. It's on our website. It's in all of our social profiles. It's probably going to be in the description of this very episode. And boy howdy, not Boy George, boy howdy. Do we have?
He's the other one.
Yeah, he's the other one. This is twin brother. Less famous. We have a shit ton, a metric shit ton.
It's quite a bit.
The Game Awards came out. We got so many trailers. I was actually going to say, I know we've watched all of them, and not to diminish our hard work, but as we go, we can decide which ones we might want to toss out. Because there's a couple that I was putting them in here so we could make fun of them. Yeah. But we have so much to talk about that the juice might not be worth the squeeze, as they say. We'll see.
Let's just figure it out as we go, baby. Let's let's do it.
You didn't ask me about my day, but that's okay. My son is also sick. I actually think I interrupted you before you could. It's like the land of the sick, and I'm working from home because we had somebody in the office with the fucking flu last week.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, that's it. So I didn't really have an interesting answer anyway.
Yeah. How's your weight loss going? And just to see, I'm asking you because I want to announce how mine's going, but I'm pretending like I'm curious. Like, how are you doing? How have you been?
Oh, I'm doing very poorly. I actually I was debating on talking about the fact that I'm mildly depressed this past week. Just and no need for concern out there. I've been drinking a lot still, and it was supposed to start the diet, and then one thing came up, and then another thing came up, and I know I've been making excuses, but I haven't gained a bunch of weight. I've still been eating kind of light, even though I haven't been eating on diet. So it's not the weight that's bothering me. Like I'm still about the same. It's just like I'm just annoyed that I haven't gotten myself back in the groove. But it's okay. Shopping's done. Food prep's done.
Very good.
Ready to go.
I've also been drinking like a motherfucker. Like, I don't know if that makes you, I don't know if that makes you feel better or if it just makes us worse together and if that's the same thing, I don't know. But like, I've really been drinking lately. I don't know why. Ever since Thanksgiving, I was just like the fucking floodgates opened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like a couple 6-packs a week. Like, it's kind of bad. I gotta peel back a little bit, but I have been. Like recently in the past like week, like there was a couple nights I was like, I am not buying any beer tonight, and I didn't. I listened to myself. Anyway, my weight loss is going fucking great. New low score today, 237. Oh, that is 41 of my planned 80 pounds. So we are over the halfway point.
237 puts you at the weight I was in August.
I feel
that's where I started from.
Like, all jokes aside, it's insane. Like, when I gained all that weight, I did not buy new clothes because that feels like defeat to me. So I just wore really tight clothes where my gut was like popping out the bottom the entire, like every single
and every
outfit.
time you put a shirt on, you like yell at yourself. You're like, I'm not buying new ones because I used to fit in this.
Yeah. And now I fit them again. I'm like, fuck yeah. All right, I made it. Now I just got to go further.
It opens your wardrobe back up for you.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm proud of you too. I mean that. Sincerely, I love you.
Before we get into serious stuff, I'm very proud of you. Yeah, I'm still like 204. Like I put like 10 back on like immediately at Thanksgiving, and I thankfully, despite being a piece of shit the past like 2 weeks, I've kept it to not like that would be devastating to me if I like put 10 pounds back on immediately.
And once you get in the groove, that's gonna like fucking fall off of you. Yeah,
I know. I'm just beating myself up because of the drinking. Really, it's been
I should tell you, it's really your meal plan that has like kickstarted my weight loss because I was stuck at like 242, 243 for like ever, and I switched it up and I started doing literally. I was like one day, just not to break the illusion, but we do actually talk off pod here. I was like, look, I'm stuck here.
We're going to cancel the whole thing. Everybody knows.
I was like, look, I'm stuck and whatever you're doing is clearly working. So like, what is the exact thing that you eat every single day? And you sent me an actual like professional, like fucking PDF of your meal. And that's what I do. And now it kickstarted. I'm back in there, baby.
That's hot. That gives me Cummins that it's been working.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm excited to get started again. And finish this journey. Cause I'm like 75% of the way there. And all these factors were like barreling down together to make me feel like an asshole this past week. I've been drinking too much, not on my diet. I'm like, I'm right at that spot where if I'm not careful, I could get complacent because I'm like, I lost a bunch of weight. I lost 40 pounds. But no, I'm fine. We're going to be good. This time next week, I'll be talking about how silly I was. Anyway. All right. We got so much shit to talk about.
Did you see him back there?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's why I was laughing.
I just said words too. Yeah, the things.
I don't think you did. At least when he was in frame, anyway. I don't know.
There's something I see over here. Here, can you hold it up higher? I can't see it. No, you got to come over here. There it is. It's got a little shark in his hand.
Little sharky.
All right, so you're up here way too early, and you can't come up to say goodnight later because that'd be 2 interruptions.
Ooh.
You only get 1 per pod.
1 per pod. That's the rule, baby.
You want to say goodnight real quick? Say hi.
Hi.
What up, dude?
I can't.
Oh, why do you always talk so meekly when you're talking to him? Like, why don't you yell at him like you yell at me?
What's up, dude? I like your shark hand a lot.
What do you got in your hand? Yeah, can you say what it is?
Shark.
Very nice.
Shark
Can you bite your
hair.
dad in the face with the shark?
I like that. I like that you did that.
Got him.
All right, you want to say? You want to say goodnight?
Good night.
Say goodnight, Uncle Derek.
Good night,
Good
buddy.
night, Uncle Derek.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you.
Love you too,
Very
pal.
nice. All right, my nose is it's gone. It's totally gone. All right, go see mommy. You can't come up again. I mean it. I love you. Good night. All right, we got it over with us.
All right, now to have some fun. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh no, his little grubby mitts put a smudge on my glasses. Oh, I can't stand it. Okay. What were we talking about?
We were just talking about you were like beating yourself up, and I was gonna say, not to enable you, or myself, but isn't this the best fucking time of year to drink? Like, other than when you're at a barbecue in the summertime, dude. When it's miserable out and you know you're not missing out on anything anyway, it's like, fuck yeah, dude. Just sit at the computer.
It's freezing out.
Yeah, have some beers, dude. It's awesome. It's like the best feeling in the world. Other than coming.
The thing I realize, and I know that this is, listen, I'm going to say the most obvious no shit statement of all time. Alcohol is a depressant. Everybody knows it's a depressant. But you know, I know, air quotes, that it's a depressant. But like my entire life, I've always been like, what do you mean? I feel great when I drink it. Yeah. And then I realized that like for the other 95% of the waking day when I'm not drunk, I feel like shit, like about myself, about the things that I did, you know, with the drinking too much the night before. Anyway, drinking
Dude,
too
I
much,
always wake up, especially during the week. Like if I wake up on a weekday and I drank the night before, immediately I'm like, my first thought every time is I'm a piece of shit. I'm a bad person.
Yeah. You're like, what's
wrong?
The day off. What's wrong with me that I can not get the smudge off my frames from little mittens that were hassling me? Okay. So the first thing I was going to ask you about is we have some weekend review stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'd be okay if we just went like
let's do
quickly into the trailers, because the first thing is to make fun of Pokemon players who are furries, aka Nick Benson. People have found ways to kiss their monsters. I'm not going to go into any more detail. That's it. That's all I need to know.
You're disgusting. If you've done it, you're gross. You're gross.
This one was the Steam Deck's D, the Steam Ds. So that's useless. But I will talk about this next one. They did announce a release date for The Mandalorian Season 3. This is more informational, though. There's nothing for us to talk about here. Mm-hmm. We've already talked about the trailer that released.
Yeah.
So Season 3 of Mando comes out Wednesday, March 1st. Very nice.
Dude, March is a fucking month this year, dude. Oh, my God. So much shit comes out in March.
There's a lot of stuff happening in March. Like, you could say too much.
Almost too much to talk about on one single podcast. We'll have to do another one.
Maybe next week, same time, same place. This next article was a feel-good story that like we can talk about, but we don't. I mean, it was nice. By all accounts, I don't know if are you into like XCOM? Sorry, not SOCOM.
No, I always wanted to, but no, never did it. Never took the plunge.
I know some people who are obsessed with that game and that developer, which is this developer, Firaxis. By all accounts, Midnight Suns.
You look so radically different when your glasses are off, but like in a good way. You don't look like worse. You just look like a different, handsome guy. Like the Clark Kent thing, it's happening.
You're like the only person to. Everyone else just goes, "Oh, you look weird without your glasses."
And I know not weird at all.
I know they don't mean weird like ugly, but I still go, "Oh, wow,
yeah, thanks asshole." Yeah,
really appreciate you telling me I look like an idiot. By all accounts, this Midnight Suns game is basically XCOM with Marvel characters, and people who love these types of games have been gushing over it. I've only seen a couple negative things, but this article was about the developers. Mm-hmm. I'll summarize it super quickly. The article made me cry. So if you're new here, it's not hard to do. Several things in our docket this week made me cry. Okay, several hard. Ooh, Pinocchio. We're gonna talk about Pinocchio today. Surprise. But this article was about Firaxis, the developer, and there was a Make-A-Wish scenario for a young fan. He was 14, diagnosed with neuroblastoma. Sorry to start on a downbeat here, but he's a young chap in the UK. I don't know why I said chap. I guess because it's in the UK. See, I brought it right back. My brain was like, yeah, don't get so sad. Here's a really stupid joke, you stupid American.
He was a young lad.
He wanted to play this game, but it wasn't supposed to come out for another year. And if you know anything about game development, they'll be doing updates to the game right up until it prints like the gold version that ships, and then they'll still make additions and leave day one patches. So they fleshed out a chunk of the campaign just enough so he could play through it and got this game to him. It's a very touching story. And
that's really great. Don't you hate when things like this happen though, when people are like, well, they just did it for the PR, and it's like, yeah, but to that kid, it was still fucking awesome. So everybody wins. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. That argument point had merit when I was like 12 and couldn't think of the actual response, which is what you just said, which is that, like, regardless of their intentions, the actions they performed had great consequences for this kid. So who cares? Yeah, they got something out of it too. No one does anything selflessly. Yeah, not a single thing. I love my friends and family because they're all great, but it also makes me feel good when they acknowledge me. That's 50% of the reason I do it.
Right, like if you stop being cool, I'd stop hanging out with you. Period. It's like I'm getting something out of this. It's not like it's not unconditional.
Yeah, free hand jobs. There has been a ton, and we're not going to talk about it, but I'll glaze over it just to give you the title of this article. There's been a ton of DC stuff come out over the past couple of days. Rumors about what movies are being cut, which movies are staying, what directors are leaving. Because nothing's formalized, I honestly don't feel like most of it's meriting a conversation. There were some rumors that Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. Patty Jenkins walked away. I only put this in here because this was his rebuttal to that big article that had a bunch of concerning, I would say, things in it. And to be honest with you, I've always liked Gunn, and he speaks very plainly on social media. Like he'll literally just respond to a tweet a fan wrote and was like, "This is incorrect," like that. Like he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's like, "This is wrong." He put this statement out. He said, "So as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it's true, some of it's half true, some of it's not true, and some of it we haven't decided whether it's true or not yet." He's basically the gist of the rest of it is we're building out the next 10 years of story. That takes time. We're still just beginning. And so, the article has a lot of interesting and juicy tidbits. Like I said, Patty Jenkins walking away, Wonder Woman 3 not happening.
So is that legit? Is Wonder Woman 3 like, is that, I thought that was a confirmed thing. Maybe not.
No, no. Apparently Patty Jenkins may in fact be walking away. That sounds pretty solidified, but whether or not Gal Gadot reprises her role is to be seen. We don't know because she's still contracted. Like it doesn't matter who the director is. But yeah, so really the entire point of the story was like, everybody should pipe down because we don't know. And listen, Gunn might end up doing things I don't like, but they hired him for a job. He's going to make a vision for 10 years and follow it through. And I wouldn't envy someone, honestly. And it sounds like I'm just sticking up for him, but I'm trying to look at this from all angles. And one of those angles is his. I don't envy someone who's going to walk into a very fractured environment where we've had Zack Snyder stuff and when Warner Brothers didn't like it and they tried to retcon it. And then all these different, like, people have favorite Batmans and people want Cavill to come back and people want Booster Gold movies to be made. And have to like sort this out and figure out which fans he's going to piss off and which ones he's going to make happy with his choices. And it seems like so much to deal with. And I read some of the stuff that was like, that one of the things they're considering is a clean slate.
Yeah.
Recasting everybody because, that might be the best way to do something. And I don't know, but none of us know. And that was kind of the whole point of me putting this in here was just if you've heard all these rumors and you listen to the very small subsect of people that heard these rumors, B, listen to our podcast, and C, cared what we thought about it.
Right.
The answer is to just relax because like nothing is announced. Nothing's canceled.
Nothing's
so officially,
real. Nothing is, we're not really here. This is all.
Yeah, the world you live in is a construct.
Exactly. Just don't worry about it.
We're flying high on the Nebuchadnezzar right now.
That's right. Have as many gasms as you can while you can. You never know when they're going to pull the plug.
Yeah, exactly. Eat all that steak you want to. Because your heart's not really that, it's virtual too. So if you're not really
your
dying.
Your heart is especially virtual. So abuse the shit out of that thing. Do coke.
Yeah. All right. And the last article I have in here for the week was literally something that I wanted to talk about. So we don't have to because it was about WoW. And they're adding in a new cool feature that it's just another way for you to earn stuff in game if that's what you want to do. They're putting in this trading post thing, lets you do monthly activities to earn cosmetics. It's pointless. We don't need to talk about it. I thought it was cool though. Another avenue.
I read it. No, it is a neat system. I have not fired up Dragonflight yet, and
I know you haven't.
I'm probably not going to for a little while, honestly. I have so many single player games that I'm playing that I just don't have time. I don't have time for
I'm impressed with your dedication. I, on the other hand, have just ignored all my other worldly duties.
Yeah, we're literally on the opposite end. Like like you're playing that instead of the single player games.
Oh, and I like it's so crazy. Normally I would go, I'm having a blast in Dragonflight. Like I'll get back to. I avidly and actively want to play Ragnarok. I want to get back to it. I want to finish the story. I was very invested in it. This was not a knock on that game. I haven't touched Evil West. I bought it on sale Black Friday. I really want to play it. I have been playing the Asylum games, but that's because I've been playing them on my Steam Deck. Yeah. And that means that I get a little bit of time with my Steam Deck downstairs before I come up. It's been great.
I'm going to try to beat that MF2 night and then get on, because now you're ahead of me. You're in City, and that hurts me.
I am in City. And reminding myself of the like metric leap in that game. Like, holy shit. Like, I know that I stand by my statement. Arkham Knight has the most and best refined combat, but that's because they iterate and iterate and iterate. City is such a metrically huge leap in quality, though, from Asylum. And I know it's a very different sort of game because Asylum is so linear and City is a big open chunk of world. But it's so crazy to go back and be like, holy shit, like the budget increase you guys had for 2 because of the way you did 1.
I remember that on launch night, like just playing it and just going like, holy shit. And back then, like I had like a Game Informer sub or something. And that was like all the game news that I ever got. So like whatever I felt like reading in a 7-page spread about City is all that I knew about it. I knew it was going to be like open world. I knew it was going to be, they had bigger plans for it or whatever, but it's like exactly going from Asylum to City is just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The biggest compliment I can give them, and then we'll stop talking about it because I feel like I've brought up Rocksteady every week for the past 4 podcasts, which we probably have in one way or another. We're going to talk about them today because they have a trailer out. Is that the insane level of love and attention to the environment in Asylum, but it's such a smaller linear experience. But every corner of that place, there's a secret everywhere. There's an Arkham thing to scan in. There's a riddle. There's a trophy, and they do the same thing, but on a massively larger scale in City. Every corner of Arkham City has something interesting in it. It's insane how many man hours they must have put in to that game. And again, in Night too, the City in Night is incredible. Really, the only negative there is the amount of Batmobile they shove you into. But god damn, the rest of that game is fucking sexy.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to it.
Me too. I'm excited to get to some of these trailers. Thanks for the segue.
Great segue. Yeah, very, very well done.
Great segue. So some of these trailers, I thought to myself once upon a time, aka a week ago, at first I was like, yeah, cool, let's talk about these. And then I'm like, well, we have so many other ones and these were just going to be a joke. So like, do you want to talk about Mean One?
Don't. I do not.
Cocaine Bear?
Nah.
Okay. Then they're annexed.
They're gone. Goodbye.
They're call them Crimea because oh, come on, that was a banger there, right?
Pretty good.
Proud of that. Okay. So, and honestly, the first one we're talking about right now is only here so I can make one joke. This entire trailer is in here so I can make one joke directed at one single person, and hopefully you know where I'm going with this as soon as I start. The first trailer is the official trailer 2 for the Super Mario Brothers movie. If you've been living under a rock or a toadstool.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. You may not know that Chris Pratt, generic white guy of Hollywood, is voicing Mario, and everybody's mad about it. Everybody. Chris Pratt's probably mad about it. Yeah. I haven't seen his stupid Facebook reels in a while. I hate his Jack Black is doing great as Bowser. I hate Pratt as Mario so much. I may not watch this film unless it has like really good reviews. However, this trailer is here for me to say one thing. the very end of this trailer, they're racing. They do a little Mario Kart in this. Looks pretty cool. They're on Rainbow Road. And Mario lets out a wahoo at the end. But it's Chris Pratt. And it's so pathetic.
It's so bad.
It's so fucking bad. And alls I want, Scoot.
I just want Scott to take him down. That's all I can.
Scoot, my buddy, my savior, my friend. I can't find the old episode where you did the wahoos and yahoos.
Yeah. He did the triple jump too.
I want you to send me one. Doesn't matter, via Facebook message or text, whatever works for you. Send me a recorded wahoo, and I'm gonna take the end of that trailer and I'm gonna cut your audio into that and post it so everyone can see how much better.
It's way better. Just way better. It's not even close.
You want to post it because you don't want to, if you don't want to do that just to buff up our nut, then I'll make the edit and let you post it from your Twitter handle. I don't care. I just want it done because I need Scoot's fucking voice in that fucking Mario, because that Chris Pratt voice is so sad and weak. It's weak.
It's really bad. Remember the part where he's about to fight Donkey Kong and he whispers to himself, "Let's go." I'm like, this is so.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, though. The animation is very endearing. Like, it looks really good. Yeah. It's just the voice acting, except for a couple, that is so, like, it's just jarring.
Charlie Day as Luigi is inspired.
I didn't like it. I hated it. It just doesn't fit. Like, not that he's a bad VA, but it just doesn't fit on Luigi to me. I don't know.
Whatever.
Jack Black, of course, incredible. I mean, there's a couple in there that were good, but overall, it's just like, what are we doing here?
Is it? It might be the first. It's the first. It's the only time. It's the only thing I can. Sorry, I am so excited to get this sentence out that I can't talk. Apparently, now I know where my son gets it from. He does it all the time. And he's so daddy, so, and it's like 7 times. So it's adorable, but it's also infuriating when you're trying to get out the door. And then I just forgot what I was going to say.
Much like your son.
Much like my son. Love him, little shithead. Dude, Facebook attacks me on the regular with like, hey, remember when he was really little and now he's older? You fucking old person.
Yeah.
And Google hit me. They both did. I got hit from both ends of the mega social media conglomerate end this morning. Google Photos is always putting together collages of me,
with
and
like
they'll
pretty
do
music. It's I just got one too the other day. I'm like, come on.
They're like, look, 2 years ago, look what happened. So they showed me a fucking picture. It was like, oh, these are similar shots. Sometimes they'll give you a similar shots collab. It was Grayson at this little green desk that we got him when he was like 2. And it was 3 shots. And there was one when we just got it for him, one that was like a year and a half ago, and one that was like last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, my little boy. He's so big.
I'm just hitting round 1 of that. Like, it doesn't make me feel. Oh, very nice.
It's unless you're watching the VOD pod, you can't see it. But I sent it to Sam, and I was like, not fair, Google.
Yeah, I'm on round 1 of that where like it doesn't make me feel old because it's not the amount of time, but I'm just like, holy shit, it's been more than a year. I'm getting this day 1 year ago shit.
Yeah,
and I did get a little collage of like through the first 18 months or whatever. It was like playing this little ukulele song, like shit that's on an Apple commercial that usually enrages me, but because my son is in it and I'm a narcissist. All of a sudden, I love it. It was like bringing tears to my eyes. Yeah. But
that's the Tom Segura bit about the reason we love our kids is because we're narcissists. Like, but they're little you. Of course you love them. Right. Facebook hit me today, too, with a memory of him in a Captain America mask, but he was just at that. He was like 2. So he would talk, but he didn't know a ton of words yet.
Right.
So I'm like filming the hallway and I just hear do. And he comes around the corner with the mask on. And I'm like, it's Captain America. And he was like, Mommy. And she was like, yeah. And he went, huh. And I was just like, oh, he doesn't do that anymore because he's old. And
now he can talk.
Yeah. Today he said the words fist bump to me. Like he asked for a fist bump by going, fist bump. And I was like, and now it's cool too. Just different, right? Everything's different.
Yeah.
How the fuck did we get on that tangent? Scoot, I need the Yahoo.
Yeah,
the Wahoo.
definitely.
And otherwise, I don't care about that movie.
Definitely need that trip jump.
Trip. Let me close out Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine.
We talked about this last episode, which again was 2 weeks ago at this point. I keep forgetting that. We got the Empire article. I think it was Empire with the pictures of Mads Mikkelsen. It's Mads Mikkelsen if you're out there listening. And
wait.
Indiana Jones.
Wait. Why are we skipping over Transformers: Rise of the Beasts?
Okay, that's easy because I missed it. So we're in.
All I have to say is this. I never really watched the Transformers cartoon as a kid. I watched Beast Wars because I was just a few years too late for Transformers.
Okay.
I watched the fuck out of Beast Wars. So I don't care. Does this look stupid? It certainly does, but it speaks
100%.
to my childhood. And so once it's free to watch, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to watch it. That's it.
Yeah. So everybody obviously it made lots and lots and lots and lots of money. Everybody liked the first couple, I think, at least. I liked I thought the first one was fun. It was novel at the time. It was new. It didn't have it did, but because it was new, the new car smell kind of masked the oozing of corporate marketing smell that the rest of that was that's like coming out of the rest of them.
And by the second one, it was just so boiled down into a fucking singular formula.
Yeah.
It was so like, I know.
and then Michael Bay went further and made the racist car caricatures of the guys that are supposed to be like from the hood. Like it was really bad.
Yeah.
I say all that to say that once upon a time, I thought these movies were fun. And it consequently started to hate them as like the pinnacle of cinema that I couldn't stand. And this was mildly entertaining as a trailer. It still had a lot of that corporate cringe in it for me, but I'll watch it when it's free.
Yeah.
Same
That's
page.
it. Cheetor was in it. Didn't give him a spoken line though. Kind of rude, but that's all right.
And I'm so sorry for skipping over Transformers.
That's okay. That's all
I
right.
vaulted right over it.
Now let's jump into your childhood. We'll go back. We'll go back to Mads Mikkelsen and
we should try and like do it this week if we can make it work. I don't know how much. I know you have like finals going on and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the watch along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll figure that out.
If there's like a night that we can
just
I don't think they're all like 90 minutes. Anyway, that's probably not true. I think I just made that stat up.
No, you know what? Anything that's like the average movie length, I feel like of that era is like 90 minutes. Now, no fucking movie takes up less than 2.5 hours. It's like your whole night is gone if you want to watch a movie. From that era, they were a little shorter. They were a little more respective of your life and the things that you had to get done.
Well, let's find out. I mean, it's not difficult to figure out the runtime unless
check it out.
Unless you're me and you pull up the IMDb page and can't for the life of you pinpoint with your eyeballs where there it is, 1 hour and 55 minutes. That's 2 hours.
Yeah,
okay,
not bad. This trailer was really here's the perspective of someone who's never seen Indiana Jones.
Hit me.
Despite knowing everything that happens in Indiana Jones, I thought it looks cool. I thought it looked fun. Looks like a good little adventure.
It did.
Looked like a stupid good time, and I feel like that's what the first three were. There's nothing like mind bending happening. It's just like goofy fun, and I got a lot of that from this trailer. And Mads Mikkelsen's in it, and he's really great to look at. He's a really, really good looking guy.
Yeah,
I'd love to polish him off. I'd love the honor to. I'd love it.
He's the kind of guy that could talk me into stuff I normally wouldn't be comfortable with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I got this ball gag for you. Oh, Mads, you shouldn't have.
Mads, not here. Hang on.
I'd love to see how that fits in my mouth. Anyway. Yeah, no, I too thought the trailer was fun. It had it's a very quick scene, but every so often, that old bag of bones named Harrison Ford, some of that young charismatic actor shines through, and I got some of that in this trailer. And much like Force Awakens, some people love it, some people hate it. Some people, in retrospect, are now like, it was okay, it was fun.
How do you feel?
Think I'm in the third camp. Grayson wanted to watch it the other day. We put it on, and there's some stuff in it that's annoying to me with the passage of time. It's specifically they do something in the beginning when Finn finds Rey. And she's like, stop holding my hand, which was obnoxious this time around. I was like, okay, we fucking get it. She's independent. Like, you can do that with actions. It's literally, because to me, that makes me think that J.J. Abrams thinks I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
At the root of it, I'm like, you don't need to keep telling, with the actions that she's taking, and like maybe mention it once.
They do a better job of it in that same scene too, where like he's rushing to save her, and she just kicks the bad guy's ass before he gets there, and he kind of goes like,
and he's like,
it's like, that's a way better communication.
That's really well communicated right there.
Yeah.
And then they do it again when the bomb goes off and they both get knocked down and he goes unconscious for a sec and she goes to help him up. And he's like all fucked up and he's like, are you okay? And she just looks at him. She's like, there's like a semi-confused split second where she's like, yeah. And then she like reaches her hand out to him. And I went, great visual. That was wonderful. It was well done. Literally the 3 separate occasions she said, stop holding my hand. I was like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Anyway, annoying dialogue choices aside. Yeah. The movie's fine.
I like it. I think it's a good movie.
It's a New Hope, but like it's new and some of the shit is really cool. And I know they do the fucking trench run scene, but it looks way better in fucking 2022 version.
I don't give a shit when fucking Poe Dameron is in the core of that thing and it's in slow motion and he's just like one by one taking out rows of the inside of Starkiller Base. Oh my God, that part is so fucking cool.
It summons. That's what I'll say.
It does.
You know what the rest of it is.
You know the rest.
No. Very good. I remember I got like reinvigorated about my basement dweller internet arguments of like, no, I think Kylo is a good character because knowing his whole arc, and it might have been done very messily, but like I really liked the conflict inside of him in the first one, and I don't know, I liked it. Anyway, what was the point of this one? I'm doing it again.
Oh shit, I don't know. It was you were like
I remember. Old Harrison Ford and the younger him shining through. This is the whole point. There's a really great, well-written scene for Han Solo in this movie when the 2 gangs show up, and it's classic Han Solo lines one after the other. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's like, guys, you're all gonna get what you want. He's like, when have I ever let you down? And they both say something, and he goes, what was the second time? And like, it's all classic Han Solo. And in that moment, I went, "Oh, there he is." There's like it like it's not an emotional scene, but it makes me emotional because it pulls straight at like nostalgia. And he did that again in this. There was a very, very long-winded way of saying he does that again in this trailer at the end when he does the stupid whip gag and the face that he makes when he realizes that they all have guns and he goes like right and then just dips off camera. It's so classic Indiana Jones that I went, huh. There he is. I see him again. Boy. That old bag of shit.
He's still alive in there
face
somewhere.
Still work. Yeah, it looks fun. I don't. Dial of Destiny. I mean, I like the alliteration, but the title's kind of dumb.
It's a tremendously stupid name. It really is the fucking worst.
But we talked about it before. I like the premise of the space race backdrop. We'd be remiss not to say how good the fucking de-aging looks on him.
Very
in
good.
This.
Yeah.
Very good. Disney is now past, I would say, the uncanny valley because Luke and Boba looked insanely real. And honestly, almost any screenshot you would take of that still frame, I don't think you can. I mean, sure, you could do a little tiny itsy bitsy, but it looks so convincing. It's not until he talks that it looks a little off. And in this trailer, because same thing could happen, but. Like I literally I paused it and I went, holy shit.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty immense.
Very good. And speaking of very good, moving on. Well, I just spoiled my thoughts. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has a new trailer out. Since I already said it, I really like this trailer.
Me too, a lot. But can I tell you something that really irks me, that like really gets under my skin? I fucking hate trailers and how they just give away like hook hype moments. And in this fucking trailer,
that's fair.
At the very end, you hear Groot say, "We are Groot." And I'm like, how cool would that have been in theaters to like have him do that callback line to Guardians of the Galaxy 1? It would be this like awesome fucking moment of like him, the selfless act, whatever. Like, but now you just saw it in the fucking 45-second trailer. So now you're just going to be expecting it. It's going to mean nothing when you see it because you know it's there before you even go in. I fucking hate how movie studios do that. That would have been an incredible moment to see as the movie unfolded, but now we just know it happens. I know it's dumb. It's not like it's like showing you someone dying or something, but it's just like, it's kind of like this. I think I've used this exact example on the show before. Remember when the Dark Knight Rises ad campaign was happening and they showed the scene of the football field collapsing like beneath them?
Yeah.
And it's like, even you're watching the trailer, you're like, oh, that's really cool. That's exciting. You see the football player running away from whatever. And by the time you're in theaters watching it, it's just like, oh, it's the part from the trailer. Like, it means nothing.
Yeah.
If you had
But it
seen
would
that
have
for the
been epic.
first time,
Yeah.
it would have been so cool.
It also would have been it would have been so much more intimidating as something Bane did if you saw it for the first. You're like, oh fuck, he means business. But instead, you're like, this set piece that I've seen 1,000 times. Yeah. I 100% agree.
But it looks very good. I did watch the holiday special, by the way, too. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh, you didn't, but I'm excited. We might as well give brief thoughts on it right now. But first, we talked about this before. I liked the first one very much. The second one, middling. I really a lot of the choices in the second one were meh. I was surprised at how much attachment I felt to this group of heroes in this third trailer. This was a very emotional trailer for me. I mean, it doesn't help that they say things like, let's save the galaxy one last time. Like a little CGI adorable Rocket who looks like he's tearing up a couple times. It looks like we're going to get some of his backstory. And I think that he's tied to one of the main villains in this film, who's the High Evolutionary, who's played by, I'm going to butcher this. He's a Nigerian actor. His name is Chukwudi Iwuji. I don't know how to pronounce it. He played Clemson in Peacemaker. Same guy.
Okay.
And that's actually, I remember us hearing that like Gunn liked him so much in Peacemaker that he was like, you're going to be my villain in Guardians 3.
He was really good in that.
One of the villains. Spoiler alert for the comics. Well, it's not really, it kind of is. Tell me, has to do with Rocket's relationship to him. Do you want to know?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay. Well, in the comics, High Evolutionary is responsible for making Rocket. Anthropomorphic raccoon. So I think I think they're going to get to the heart of that. There's a lot of emotion in this trailer, and I thought it was played really well. And the scene of them landing on that planet with all it was really a really funny scene, and I'm excited to see the movie when he throws the ball.
Oh, when they're all like, freaking out. Yeah.
I also thought it was a cool idea just to like, oh, they're on Earth, and then I was like, wait, those are all furries. Nick Benson's probably really excited about this. Sorry, Nick. I love you, buddy.
No, I thought it looks good. I might do like a trailer embargo just because I really like, I know it sounds like such a stupid point to get hung up on, but I was just like, that would have been, it just would have been great to see like for the first time in the movie. It's like, that was his line at the end when he sacrifices himself. I don't know. Whatever.
There's also a deep cut / small fact. The costumes they're wearing, the uniforms that all tie together, like in the opening of the trailer, and they come down the stairs. That's super duper close to the comic books versions of their costumes. They all had like the Rocketeer feel to them, where it was like a piece that looked like it buttoned over here on the side. Really cool. It looks good. But you watched the holiday special. How'd you feel about it? Like it? Hate it?
I didn't hate it, but it's like one of those things like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, did we really
need to exist?
Right. It really didn't. I will say that it was almost worth it to hear at the very end when Kevin Bacon's like, bye, everybody. See you at Easter. And Nebula says, I guess all actors aren't complete pieces of shit. The way she sends that fucking line out, I was like in tears laughing.
It was pretty good.
The rest of it was pretty mid, though, right? I mean, it was nice, like you said, that Chris Pratt wasn't in it a whole lot. But I feel like centering Drax and I can't think of her name.
Mantis.
Like, they're just not like, they can't carry a film. Like, they're good characters when they're supporting, but like when they're center stage, it doesn't work out too well. No, it was, I'm happy I watched it. It was a good time.
Yeah. I think I said roughly the same to you last week. Yeah. It was fine. It was a thing. It was entertaining. I'm glad it was 45 minutes. It was a nice quick jaunt, a nice little adventure. I think I said something like, did you like the song in the beginning? I thought it was funny.
I forget it already.
It was like kind of making fun of how creepy the idea of Santa Claus was. And
the dude on the street with the guitar. Yeah. That was
the old
funny.
97s. And then at the end, I never really thought about it, but it's kind of really obvious in retrospect that Mantis is like Pratt's half sister, basically. Yeah. And it's such a stupid cliche moment, but it worked on me. Like, I was like, oh, that's really nice. Yeah. But otherwise, it was like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was on Disney Plus and I didn't have to pay to watch it. And then it was only 45 minutes. You can't really be mad at that. Okay. We have a trailer for Gen V. This is the spinoff to The Boys Amazon Prime show. There's lots of stuff happens in this. I actually didn't expect to see like A-Train himself.
Yeah.
Like cameoing in this
and Kelly, I think her name is too.
Yeah.
Like
this comes out in 2023. And it looked fine. Like there's some cool nods to the main show. Obviously, there's like a Homelander statue on campus, and it looks like it's going to be a bunch of debauchery. And if they can keep the same irreverent tone as The Boys and the same biting commentary on the world around us as The Boys, then it'll entertain me. I don't know anything about it, and so therefore it's this. I was like, okay, this trailer exists.
I think it's going to suck ass. I really do because, and my reason is this, I'm not trying to be like a contrarian, but this is the new model where it's like, if you have a really explosively successful show, you make a bunch of partner, like brother and sister shows. Well, you could be brother shows, whatever you call, whatever you want. And could like most of the time shows. It could be NB shows. That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of the times they suck. It was. I know.
I feel like I have to clarify that now.
Like, I don't know how to respond without sounding like I'm making fun of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that wasn't specifically a crack at gendered folks that are not me. I was just pointing it out as another option.
Right,
okay, continue.
There's another option.
There's
which is
lots
no
more.
option.
Right.
So I think most of the time those sister shows end up like not being great, and so I feel like when they are good, if you have something worth telling in the same universe, you have to really make the point of the show obvious in the trailer to get me interested.
Right.
Did they with this? I mean, honestly,
No.
Did they really say like anything?
No.
They just said there's going to be blood and cursing in this. That's all they said. And it's like, I already have the boys for that. I already know that that's a well-written show that has blood and exploding dicks and shit. Like I possess that already.
And we're invested in that one.
Right.
Already.
Exactly. So like, as of right now, I mean, none of these people are recognizable. So I can't even go like, oh, well, I'm going to watch it for this actor I really like.
Right.
There's no reason for me to be excited for this, which isn't to say that I'm not going to try it out, but there's nothing about it that I'm like excited for. It's going to be one of those things that one day you're like, oh, Gen V came out. I'm going to go, oh shit. All right. I guess I'll watch it. Like, I'm not like tracking the release date of this. I don't really, I just don't really care.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And you're right. I mean, when you ask me like that and you go, well, what did this show you? The answer is nothing. This trailer to me screamed, hey, did you like The Boys? We bet you did. This is related to it. Like, and that's all that it said. Yeah, I don't have an opinion on it either way. Yeah. Not off this trailer. I mean, it could be good. It could be shitty. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so the next trailer is the latest trailer for the Witcher Blood Origin show. And I only put this in here because the first trailer, I think you and I were stoked on. The second one, we had differing opinions. I thought it looked cool. I think you were like, well, I don't think I'm going to like this show very much. And now we have this one. And
I feel like a boner because for some reason I thought that like we already covered this and I thought it was in here by mistake or something. I didn't realize it was the new trailer, so I didn't watch it. I'm a bungo. So why don't you just tell me about it?
We can't talk about it. So here's the thing. The problem here is that my opinion is already sullied because even though this show doesn't come out until I think Christmas Day, I think it's December 25th. December 25th. There are reviews coming out already, which is a great sign for the show because it means that they put the embargo up crazy early. Mm-hmm. And there's reviews that the ones that I've skimmed were all pretty positive about it. And so that's coloring my opinion. Like it's hard for me already at this point, even at this point. This trailer came out 9 days ago on the 3rd. It's already difficult for me to separate the trailer from the positive things I'm hearing about it. The trailer's fine. I mean, it's just more of the same stuff we saw before. It's elves and dwarves and magic and characters that we don't know who the fuck they are. I know Michelle Yeoh's in it, and she's awesome, and I'm excited to see her. I'm going to watch it, of course. But it's for me personally, despite even the positive words from this trailer, it still gives off like generic fantasy vibes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I mean that in a bad way, but I definitely don't mean it in a good way. You know what I mean? Like I'm still very middle ground on this. Like it could blow me away, but like I don't know. I'm not getting these trailers aren't doing it for me. They're not making me want to actively like. I don't.
Yeah, they look cool, but that's it. Like there's and that's what The Witcher show is. It looks cool, but like really when you get down to like every scene, when you're like,
it's just Cavill.
You're like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about right now? Yeah, it's all Cavill. That's all it is, and
he's
only
the reason
for one
I'm
more
there.
season. But
I can't wait though.
That's what I anticipate this is going to be. Like Michelle Yeoh is incredible. Henry Cavill is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The show around them might suck, but I'm sure she's going to be incredible. So maybe you stick around. Is she so good that you watch the whole show for her? I don't know. Maybe it'll be good, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it. To be honest.
I guess we'll see. The thing I will repeat because I keep forgetting it, and maybe you listeners out there, and maybe you, Derek, do as well. This isn't a whole show. It's a 4-part.
It's like a mini series.
Yeah. It's just 4 parts, and it's probably gonna all drop at one time. It's not gonna be 12 episodes.
Dude, I fucking love miniseries. I love miniseries so much. My God,
it actually makes me more interested in it when I remind myself of that because I'm like,
it's a good point.
So they have like a short, succinct story about this period of time that they want to tell me. I'm game for that.
Yeah.
So I'll turn it on sometime.
Now Andor is about to like totally change my opinion on miniseries though. Now I'm like, I don't want only 2 seasons. It was so fucking good.
I'm still happy about that so far. We'll see how I feel about it. We'll see how I feel about it when it's coming to a close at the end of season 2.
So good.
Yeah. Speaking of so good, The Last of Us trailer dropped. I don't know if you feel that way about it. I do. This show comes out January 15th on HBO Max. I just fucking love Pedro Pascal, dude.
He really is just a sweetheart. Wouldn't you love to hug him? Like,
yeah.
I bet he's one of those people that when he hugs, he puts his chin in your neck, like sort of.
I was gonna say, I
really
feel his stubble. He's got good stubble, but it looks like it would be soft stubble and not scratchy.
Right. It wouldn't hurt you. It would help you.
Yeah. He'd hand me a cup of warm chicken noodle soup and I'd feel better about my day afterwards.
No, I think it looks good. A lot of people are shitting. It's just a new thing to shit on, right? Because The Last of Us was a cool thing to shit on. And the video game, of course, is what I meant.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think there's really been any indication that it's going to be bad. It seems like they're staying like some aspects of it. You see shots that are like directly from the game.
It's direct, yeah.
Some stuff that seems kind of new. Scooter, who's getting his second premiere on this episode, had mentioned that there was some stuff. What did he say? Like there was some stuff that happened so close to the end of the game 1 that he was wondering, like, is this going to be a 1 or 2 season thing? Like, what's like how are they going to work that out?
Right.
So who knows? But no, it's good. I mean, people are online. Of course, they're mad because they recast Joel's daughter as, I think she's like a black girl or something. You see her for like 2 frames, and people are up in arms about it. I'm like, are we still getting mad about this kind of shit? Like,
really?
Come on,
Jesus. Yeah.
Weirdest thing to attack about it. I think it looks really well done, and it's got our boy Pedro.
I do too.
PP.
And something that I didn't really think about, honestly, until I watched this trailer, and this is coming from somebody who played both games, is that the monsters are, of course, they're just zombies, right? But they call them something else. The neat thing about the way in which they do these zombies is that, when they first die and get infected, they look very much like humans still. So you can do the creepy zombie humanoid aspect with the cocked heads and all the other creepy stuff. But then as they decay, they become more and more like fungal and these monsters. So you get the best of both worlds. You can have CGI creepy monsters or they can make them with costumes. I don't know how they're going to do it. But the point is like you have like 2 forms of these at least. And that was something that lended itself to like a variety of enemy types in the game. But it works for the show too, because now they're going to get to, there's a scene of like a chick who looks mostly human, like creepy crawling down a hallway. But then they have, there's a couple scenes of like the super creepy looking fungal monsters too. So
yeah,
I don't really have a point with this besides to say that monster variety is good.
Yeah.
Yay. Trailer looks good.
Also, since it's not in our Game Awards trailer, it's not a new release or anything, but the PC release of the Part 1 redo comes out in March. It's another
PPC.
March thing.
PPCs.
And I actually kind of really look forward to playing it on PC, like with the updated graphics.
I
loved Part 1. I thought it was really good.
I feel like I might play that on PC with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
even though it's something that I normally would go to a controller because you aim so much, and being able to aim more accurately in that first game, I think it would take away some of the clunky control feeling to it.
I feel I would have liked to. I really feel like they're saying that that's going to come to PC eventually too, and I can't wait because I didn't like that game in the way that a lot of people did, and I feel like every time people hear me say that, they think that I don't like it for the same reasons other people don't like it, and I don't
which is
at all.
Tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky business.
One of the things that bothered me, but at that point, like that was finally the point where I had been playing third and first person shooters on keyboard and mouse so much that it feels like I forgot everything over 15 years of playing on a controller. It's all gone now. And like, it was frustrating. Like I feel like if I could play that again on PC, I might actually like it more. But anyway, so yeah, I look forward to the part 1 release on PC.
6666666666666. Okay. Last thing to talk about is The Hunters season 2. Did you ever watch the first season?
Didn't even know this was a show that existed.
I did, and I liked it a lot. And that means I'm not going to say anything about it other than that. But it's on Amazon Prime, and it's based on this a book, I believe, this book series about like it kind of like an alternate. Well, it's just historical fiction of these people who I think most of them are Jewish, and they come together in like a secret society to hunt like leftover Nazis. It's like it's after the war is over, but like it was at a time period. It's similar to the Indiana Jones thing where like not Nazis, sorry, some Germans had immigrated. Some Nazis were given asylum. Wernher von Braun, famously, I've mentioned that before. And some of them have come over and taken the amnesty and in this story kind of infiltrated America, and these people are hunting them down still. And I liked the show a lot.
That sounds fucking awesome.
What's his name? Logan Lerman, I think his name is. It's cursed with that fucking. It's the guy from Percy Jackson, the kid from Percy Jackson. And what's his name? Al Pacino.
I saw.
And, yeah,
our man Pacino at the end. Has he been throughout the show, or?
Yeah, he's in all throughout season 1. I would recommend watching it if you find yourself with free time.
I'll check it out.
Okay, we're getting into the Game Awards because we have. Obviously, we're not going to spend 1,000 years on each of these because a lot of them are just announcements. So we're going to go, cool, this is happening, right? But we also have main topics I want to talk about. So we're going to blast through these. We're making good time so far. We'll see if we can maintain. First thing up in the Game Awards. This actually happened before the Game Awards, so I'm already lying to you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Elden Ring announced its first free content update. It's the Coliseum update. We talked about this like a month ago.
Yeah.
I think stuff had leaked out about like assets in the game and shit like that. Turns out they hit the nail right on the fucking head. This is actually out already. It came out December 7th, right after the news hit, the day after this news hit. It's a Coliseum update. So the Coliseums that are spread out around the world, you can do PvP in them. You can do group PvP in them. Mm-hmm. It looks like a pretty large PvP focused update. So there's no normal game content. That's assuming to still be coming out somewhere down the road. And to be honest, I don't really care about PvP stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
This trailer is just really sick. But it doesn't change. It
is a really cool trailer. Like it really is a very fun trailer to watch. I've heard, you know what? I don't care about PvP either, but I really just want to do it. Just one night. It doesn't have to be anytime soon, but I just want to do it. PvP? And like to do some Coliseum shit, some group stuff. Me and you.
Fucking do it.
Me and you, gruesome twosome, baby.
The Gruce Toos,
the Gruce Toos, the folie deux.
I thought about you in that phrase this week because Todd Phillips posted a picture. They started photography on Joker.
Him getting shaved or whatever.
Yeah. And I read that and I went folie deux in my fucking head. And I was like, oh, that rascal.
Well, Elden Ring also won Game of the Year, which is something you'd normally save towards the end of this, but we were already talking about it. And he said in his acceptance speech, like something alluding to like we have more plans for Elden Ring, like we're not done with it yet, which would make you think.
Yeah, we know that, buddy. You made a lot of money.
Yeah, like a whole lot. And I'm happy for them that they won that. Good for them.
Yeah, love that for you.
There's like this whole thing on the like, well, Ragnarok deserved it. I'm like, It did, but Elden Ring did too. So just one of them had to win, and this is the one that did. I would have been satisfied either way.
Elden Ring was a fucking event.
It really was.
And I mean, I'm not trying to detract. I Ragnarok is amazing and engaging, and I love it so much so far. But yeah, I mean, it was just a thing. It was just a whole other level of like, all of my good buddies were playing it. We're all talking about builds for like 2 months and just sharing war stories about boss kill attempts. And it was just, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Excited for more of it. And I'm glad that you brought up that they won Game of the Year, because you actually watched the Game Awards and I just saw the announcements later on. And although I had heard that they won, I totally forgot and wasn't going to say it. So thank you for being such a great.
Yeah, initially I was playing Persona on the big screen TV and I had my tablet with the Game Awards, but I ended up pausing Persona so much so I was drinking. I was so fucking drunk. It was an awesome night.
So much cool stuff came out.
And I ended up turning Persona off and putting it on. And like, so for a lot of these announcements, I like literally stood up and yelled because, as I said, I was drunk and I was very excited. I get very manic when I'm drinking. It was a really good night.
It was fun. I love that for you, sincerely. I love that I can say that both as a sarcastic insult and meaningfully to the people that I love most.
And the receiver has to just guess which one it is.
I always point it out.
You do.
I mean, well, okay, I could leave it, but no, I always point it out because I want you to know that I sincerely love that you had a great fucking time.
I did. It was a good night.
I was playing WoW that night probably because that's all I've been fucking doing. Let's keep going. Rocksteady. Another Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League trailer. And this is more just like a character reveal. They had previously, and I think they were trying, I think honestly, if Kevin Conroy hadn't passed, Jinx, sorry, Kevin Smith, you're going to die next week. I'm going to miss you too. If they hadn't, if Kevin Conroy hadn't passed, I don't think necessarily they would have showed this off, because I feel like they were trying to keep Batman under the radar. Like, it was pretty obvious he'd be in it in some capacity, right? Like, Superman's in it, Flash is in it. We knew that early on. It's called Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. And Rocksteady's famous for doing Batman. So we had a feeling he was going to be in it. I don't think they would have showed this if he hadn't passed. And to further that theory and statement, they have a nice thank you, Kevin, at the end of it, which is hit me more emotionally than I expected, because this is just a quick video game trailer. But as a reminder, this game comes out May 26th. I thought this reveal was really fun.
So hang on. I think I misread this. So Kevin Conroy, like, Batman is in the game, and Kevin Conroy, it's like he did it before he died, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought this was just another ode that they did. You know how they released the video like the next day? That same thing had thank you, Kevin, at the end. It was really good. I just thought this was their way of like doing it with their new game. I didn't know he was in the game. Now I'm like even more pumped.
Yeah, it's his final performance as Batman, which is going to be the most bittersweet.
That's really cool. I'm really excited for that.
I don't want to. You'll have to finish Night before I talk about other things, but we'll save it because I'm sure a couple weeks go by, another trailer will come out or something.
All right, I'm beating Asylum tonight. It's decided. I don't care how long it takes. I'll stay up all night.
You're very close to the end. I remember popping in and watching you in one of the like stealth rooms that you were in. And I passed it and then like beat the game like within an hour. I don't think you had much longer.
Yeah, I was so drunk that night was the problem. I was like just not understanding the pattern of Poison Ivy's boss fight. I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Oh, that's where you, okay. Yeah. So
I think it's literally that and then Joker and then I'm done.
Yeah, like you could, afterwards they like let you obviously free roam the island again. But like right after you get out of the Poison Ivy thing, Joker's like, it's time. Come over here. So yeah, you don't have too much longer. But yeah, this is nice. I'm happy he's going to be in it. It's going to be bittersweet, of course, but it's cool to have confirmation that he'll be in the movie. I can't wait to see more about him and like what's going on in the world. I'm very interested in the story. And I think the humor in this is really great. Did you like, Captain, what's his name? Captain Cole or Captain Boomerang? Like chops a finger off a Flash by accident in the it was
and he keeps
hilarious.
trying to pick it up and then his body falls and he like leans him back up against the wall.
It was really good. And you know, again, replaying the Arkham stuff is just reminding me of the quality they put into these titles. So
it's
I'm very
cool
excited.
how they're stylizing the good guys as bad guys. Like they look kind of evil because from the Suicide Squad's perspective, they are evil. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Wait, do you not?
Oh,
did
no.
You see
are they just evil in this one?
Did you see the big... They're being controlled by somebody.
Oh, okay. Oh,
the first trailer.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Okay. It's Brainiac. Yeah.
Brainiac. Yeah.
So it looks like they're tasked to go free them, basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kill. I mean, it's Amanda Waller, so she would just go take them out. But we'll see what happens. I'm very interested. And that whole scene was hilarious, and I can't wait. But moving on. This is one that Derek is very excited about.
It is.
They announced Death Stranding 2.
They did. Didn't see it coming. Wasn't even on my mind at all.
I didn't either.
I figured he was done with it. He's been talking about this project he's working on. And it never even once sort of occurred to me because, and Scott, stop listening. I bought Scott Death Stranding with the same deal. Yeah. No, well, he mentioned he wanted to play it after watching this trailer.
Okay, I got you.
So I was like, look, I'll cover it. And if you like it, you owe me a video game. And if you don't like it, I just bought you a video game. So stop listening, Scott. At the end of...
It's not going to work.
It's probably not, right?
Don't listen. We gave you plenty of fair warning, though. Turn it off, right? Skip ahead. We'll give him 5 minutes. If you missed anything else, I'm sorry, but 5 minutes. It's the only way to be safe.
At the end of Death Stranding 1, they end the Death Stranding. Like, it's over. So you would think that's it. It was a one-shot series, but apparently they're finding some way to revamp it. I have my theories. This is what was so fun about the first Death Stranding ad campaign, which was way too long. It was like 6 years long before that game came out. But with every new trailer, you're just like, okay, there has to be a reason he put XYZ in this. And instead of rambling like a schizophrenic person for 45 minutes, I'm not going to do that. And I'm just going to say that I'm really excited for this. It's cool because like I beat this game years ago when it came out. Mm-hmm. You just beat it. So a lot of this stuff is fresh in your mind. You probably have a better grasp on what's happening in this trailer than I do.
Sure.
The remix of BB's theme sung by Troy Baker or Higgs in game was like hauntingly beautiful.
Was very cool.
We see Fragile running through who we assume is Lou, hiding from the people trying to escape.
It's not just she looks healed, right?
She 100%. She's young again, but now it looks like Sam is old. So it's like
something's
what happened there. That's what I mean. There's just these stupid things, but it just makes you think about it. Like, how could this happen? Troy Baker, Higgs, I should say. Troy Baker's the real life human being. Higgs looks like his body has been like refashioned to be like a BB encasement unit thing. Like if you rewatch it, that thing at the end where he strums the guitar, his like abdomen is all translucent and has that yellow fluid that the BB thing from the first one. The first one had a lot of flaws, a lot, and it still managed to have me fall in love with it. I mean, really fall in love with it. I think it's one of the most different games I've ever played. One of the most beautiful games I've ever played. When it tried to be an action game, it sucked. When it tried to be a stealth game, it sucked. But when it just did the one thing that people tend to pick on it the most for, which is a package delivery simulator, it did that extremely well, I think. So if they can keep that, those parts that made it fun and work on the other shit, and if they can't make it better, just fucking get rid of them. Like just make it all about traversal. I think those were the most fun parts of it. And finally, my final thoughts are that I just love that Kojima was like, I made Metal Gear and I'm fucking taking it with me. I don't care if it doesn't belong to me anymore. That was a fucking Metal Gear 100%.
1,000%.
Even down to the little tones that it made, like as it was singing to him or whatever. I'm like, I just respect the shit out of it. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take that with me. It's mine. I made it.
And literally, I'm like, oh shit! Like, what the fuck is? And I'm like, oh, it's like a delivery thing with the crane. I'm like, that's fucking Metal Gear, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as someone who ultimately was perplexed by his time with Death Stranding, and I told you before, I was like, I didn't hate it, and I don't think it was a bad game. There are things about it that I disliked.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's true of like most movies that I watch. This just, Hideo Kojima is known for indulging certain aspects of video games, aka long cutscenes, and some of them just really got me in this one. So I was like, oh my god, more than usual. That being said, I'm excited for this. I like when people make weird shit and get to do their vision of something, and that's all he's doing. It's his studio now, bitch. Like, there's no Konami. He's just doing weird to the max, and I hope that I genuinely hope that he saw some of the criticism of the first one as valid and would make some changes, because I do think it was fun. I'd like I don't want to say a more focused experience because it's the opposite of what he does well. But it's hard to say. Like, I hope he's able to focus on bottle up the essence of what makes Death Stranding, the first one, fun to play, and do that. Just focus on that. And make it as weird, wacky as you want, but just make sure the moment-to-moment gameplay is fun, because that's all games should be at the end of the day. It is a fucking experience and a good time. Anyway, yeah.
No L'Aurora in this one, though, because that guy died.
Oh.
Yeah, he, I don't know how, but he died. He was like 42, super young. Just like 3 months ago. So, and
it's a bummer.
Kojima really like went ham on Twitter about it. Like, he was really affected by it.
It sucks.
So, well, I don't know. I guess the stuff they put in one was like 10 years old. I guess they could just use more of their old shit. Not that I'm saying Low Roar is a feature of the first one, but it kind of totally is.
Kind of totally is. Yeah. Hey, want to play Low Roar Stranding? That's with that game. Yeah, no, you said it at the beginning of this, and I'll reiterate it to tie the bow up on the end of the conversation about it. But this really did come out of nowhere, because we had heard rumors of what they were making next, and it was nothing like Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, it was something with Margaret Qualley, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we thought that they were going to maybe a horror thing, and there was all kinds of rumors. Some weird shit had like leaked on Twitter or something, I forget, but it was wrong, because this is not what that was. So cool. I like being surprised, and let's move on. A couple of these are just like, that's cool. Hades, which became a really popular indie hit. It's like a holy shit roguelite. That's the word I was afraid I wouldn't remember.
Did you play it?
Yeah, it's very fun.
I never beat it, and now I'm going to, because this looks.
I didn't beat it
cool.
either.
Yeah.
But it was a good time, and and like literally, it's one of the first things I put on my Steam Deck. It runs like a gem on there. It's wonderful. A very fun game, and they put out a reveal trailer for Hades 2. It'll be coming to early access in 2023. Normally, early access in this day and age of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, he is a dirty word. But they did the first one in early access, and it came out great. And so therefore, I'm excited. And you can go pre-order it right now, I think.
Go do it.
On
Stop
Steam,
what you're doing. Turn the episode off and go do it.
Yeah, and the animation's gorge.
It really is. It has such an immense. All of Supergiant games do, but it has such a fucking good sense of style. Did you play like Bastion or Transistor?
No.
Oh man,
sorry.
Those are good. Not as good as Hades, though. I think that's why they're like.
Well, then I won't now.
They did their own like a couple individual games, and Hades was such a fucking explosive success. They're probably just going to stick with that now, but it works. Gameplay they showed didn't look a whole lot different from the first one. I will say that, but
it didn't.
I'm sure they'll find ways to jazz it up.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, speaking of indie developers, Blizzard. Yeah, so look, I'm not going to bury the lead. This trailer is incredible. The cinematic. Blizzard cinematics often are. So par for the course. Diablo 4 world trailer premiere. They announced the release date of Diablo 4, right? You can pre-order it, I think. Pre-order now, get open beta early access. Sounds like it's going to be, June 6/6/23.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. 1/6
looks
shy. Dude, it really, I hate to sound
good.
like 2008, Derek, but it looks metal as fuck. It looks so just like
fucking
brutal.
2008, Derek.
Looks like a fucking Metalocalypse music video. Like, it just looks, I don't know. It just looks cool. The other ones are always like demonic, but there was still a sense of that like comic bookness to them.
Yeah,
this
one's
seems
just
like
demonic.
Pure, dark, demonic fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and the trailer is sick.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I know
I'm
I said that
really
already,
excited for
but
it.
it's so fucking cool. They have forces of heaven marching in hell.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking badass. There's like these massive light beams that show, and they illuminate the demons.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's so nasty.
It's really cool. It's very,
Can't wait.
very cool.
Nothing else to say. Go watch it. See, some of these we're going to zoom right through because the only thing we can say about it is looks cool.
Yeah.
Next. Even though we're both fucking pumped about it. And speaking of pumped about it, I don't know if Derek is pumped for this one. Horizon Forbidden West is getting a big DLC expansion called Burning Shores. They did an announcement for it. This is from Guerrilla Games, doing all the other ones. And this is coming out April 19th, 2023. I have, Jesus Christ, add this one on the list. I forgot this was still in my back catalog. This game came out like 2 weeks before Elden Ring. Bad choice.
Yeah.
Because there was not two wolves in my head. There was one wolf and like a small rabbit, and the wolf, there was no conversation. It was like, well, when Elden Ring comes out, Horizon's getting a back burner. And it did. And I really love that world. And I replayed the first one on PC like 6 months ago.
Mhm.
And I really want to get back to Forbidden West. And this looks cool. Takes you all the way to but part of the Forbidden West journey is heading towards the Forbidden West.
Of course, as one does.
Course. And this DLC probably spoils something if I put 2 and 2 together in my head. But I mean, this just takes place in LA. I mean, she's literally in Hollywood and some of this. And it's cool imagery. And yeah, so again, that's all I can say. It looks cool. It's a neat idea.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn and the second one fall under the category of like I'm aware that they're good games, but they're just not for me. I tried to get into Zero Dawn or Zero. What the fuck is it called? The first one. Zero
Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn.
When you played it, I think you got it on PC, so I was like, I'm going to do it because I have to copy you because I just want to emulate you. I love you. You're so beautiful. And you
nice
played
of you.
through it. And I did not. I got like maybe 8 hours in and just couldn't.
Yeah,
it's just not for me. So I doubt I'll play this. But I mean, that being said, it was a cool trailer, and that's it. Cool trailer, looks good. But man, Horizon took home nothing this year.
No,
but like you said, it just had the competition it had was like not fair.
Wild. Oh yeah, the competition's insane this year.
Yeah.
Speaking of insane, we got a trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which looks dope as fuck.
Yeah, it did.
I've never thought Cameron Monaghan was necessarily handsome, mostly because, well, one, I'm hetero and love women, despite my many glory hole jokes, and two, because even if I can still recognize and celebrate an attractive man, as we so often do on this podcast, but I'm not into redheads, even if I'm speculating on them. So like, see Cameron, I'm like, he's a guy. I wouldn't let him touch my dick. But I say all that to say that all you gotta do is put a beard on him.
Put a little bit of stubble on there, and it's
fucking
just
handsome.
amplifies. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's so crazy. It like a beard, and he looks like a classic Star Wars character.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, who's this guy? He's from like a fucking Elseworlds Star Wars novel. It's like the old like Dash Rendar. Like he looks like he belongs on a fucking spaceship. Look, the first game is really wonderful. It's not perfect, but it's really good. This one comes out March 17th. It's not that far away.
March, baby. March is the month.
And I can't wait. We don't know exactly the story of this one, but there's a lot of cool imagery in this. He's got a blaster now. There's a lot of cool animations and fight scenes and spectacle on display. And really, the first one was so much fun. I just want to get back into that world. But I saw an interview with him, and they didn't spoil anything, but they asked him some pointed questions, and he danced around them pretty well. But they said, like, one of them was something like, is this journey hopeful, or like, oh, is there a happy ending for Cal? And he was like, well, I can't, I can't tell you the ending. He's like, but he's like, I think hope is a perspective. Because he's like, you gotta like, and he just reiterated what we all know. Like at this point in time, the Empire is everywhere, and it's the despair that you feel when you watch Andor. They're on every planet now, even the backwater bullshit ones. They're overrunning the galaxy. This is even further in time. I think it's like 5 years after the first one or something. I could be wrong. There's definitely a time jump though, and you imagine like 5 years further into this. When you're not finding more Jedi, you're finding less Jedi.
Yeah.
Your enemy is everywhere you turn. You can't seem to get away from them. And we know, that it doesn't necessarily get better anytime soon. And, he was like, well, hope is kind of a perspective. And he gives some really interesting answers that made me excited to see, maybe him fighting with these feelings of being disillusioned at what's happening around him, I mean, it's got to feel absolutely hopeless, right?
I hope it is a good time jump, like you said. Like, I hope it's not 6 months. 5 years would actually be cool, because, like we were saying, it wasn't on the show. We was in horse chat. In the first one, he's like a Padawan. Like, he's a Padawan who's been out of training even at that for a couple years.
5 years, so that's right.
It's a 5 year gap. So that's 5 years of
years
training. So we can actually see him like be a full-fledged Jedi now, which is cool.
I feel like more of a badass.
Yeah, which, like, seeing him as a Padawan figuring it out was cool for the first one, but it's like, I don't know, wouldn't that kind of get old in a second game? So now he's more of a Knight with a K in the beginning. No, it's really cool. You kind of hit everything. It just, the imagery is awesome. The beard, excellent choice. My one point is this: I hated in the first one how the breaking your lightsaber into two was only like a special move.
Yeah,
I wanted that to be like a full blown style. It kind of seemed like in there's like a very, very quick thing where he uses two sabers at once, and I'm like, I hope that can just be like a mode now instead of like.
I think they did say that they were introducing more stuff into obviously the combat system. I mean, it literally says in the trailer description, the combat system returns with additional force abilities and new lightsaber fighting styles. So I hope that like two separate sabers is just an option.
Yeah.
Much like in the first one where at will you could go single saber or double, which I fucking loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do in Knights of the Old Republic? Were you a two single, a single, or staff?
I was a two single.
Me too.
That's fine. That's why we fuck.
Too. That's right. It's all about that glass cannon lifestyle, baby. Yeah. No, really, that's just so you can tell a lot about a person by what their lightsaber style was in KOTOR 20 years ago. That's my lifelong philosophy.
Yeah, I agree with that philosophy. Okay. Looks cool. Can't wait.
Like, do you really respect people who do the staff? No. Oh, you play defensively? That's fun.
Yeah, that's cute. So you don't hit as hard and you do less damage. Okay. All right, moving on. So Cyberpunk 2077, we knew that they had an expansion coming out. Talked about it a lot already. They released the trailer for Phantom Liberty, which had another celebrity surprise besides the return of Keanu. Idris Elba is one of our very own Glory Hole members.
That's true. He's on there.
He's doing it. He's in here doing it live. Looks cool. I don't really know what else to say. I still haven't beaten that. I still want to go back and do that.
You haven't really? Oh, I did a couple months. You got to do it. It's really good. It's very good.
I'm gonna follow do it.
You're gonna finally do it.
Follow do it. I am. It's on the fucking.
I think I did
put it on the list.
On here, like, if you're listening and you were one of the people that missed the first thing, they
fucking got you.
Go back and play it. It's very good. They fixed a lot. They fixed it. Just go play it. It's good. Good game.
Yeah. Sing it back. Anyway, trailer looks cool. This is one of those ones where I'm like, cool, looks nice.
Yeah.
Moving on. Like, is there anything you wanted to touch on with it?
Nope. You hit it. Idris Elba, Glory Hole, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Pretty game.
They did a cool thing where the date pops up and it says 2079 because it apparently takes place 2 years after the first. But this expansion is coming out 2023. And they didn't give a date. They just said 2023. So probably mid to late 2023, I'd imagine. But okay, circling back to the developers of the Game of the Year game, From Software is going back to one of their oldest franchises, Armored Core, with Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. Now, I've not historically been a huge mech shooter fan. Mm-hmm. Historically, I just, I've played plenty of them in the past. But this trailer is just sick. This it like really oozes cool. It oozes style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like, yeah, it's hard to describe. It's like mech, but I can feel From Software in every shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I read about just like, super top of the fucking soup here of the lore of Fires of Rubicon. And it's about a whole solar system that has some rare material that's like everybody everywhere is trying to get to it. And then this like weird reaction happens where like the sun explodes and the entire solar system is engulfed in flame.
Oh shit.
And then
after
it all calms down, people are like, let's go back and get that shit. And that's what this is. This is like all these different factions. That's why everything's like a wasteland, because it's been like completely destroyed.
Oh, they literally showed it. There's like fire in the heavens in the trailer.
Yeah, like like
cool.
engulfing planets and shit. Yeah, so like that happens. That's the fires of Rubicon. And then afterwards, everybody goes back. They're like, no, we're not going to leave it alone. We're going to go risk another solar system nuclear event so that we can make a buck. I don't know. Cool setting. I guess the armored cores are like human consciousnesses trapped in trapped in armored cores that are inside these gigantic mechs. So
I didn't know that.
When you die in an armored core, you do not die in real life. You just like get transported back to consciousness heaven to be zooped back into another armored core.
Cool.
So cool setting, cool game. There's a lot of debate whether it's going to be a Souls-like or if it's going to return to form for armored core.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence that supports both those sides. I don't give a shit which they do. I'm here for it. FromSoft has like really made their way into my heart, and I trust that whatever they're going to do, it's going to be good.
I would say heart and my loins.
The loins as well.
Yeah, this looks really cool. And there's like a cool, like, I almost want to call it like Blade Runner-y synth track over a lot of this trailer.
Yeah.
And it just adds this like really cool lived in element. It's all over the top. Like all these machines look ridiculous. Like there's helicopters that have like 17 blades and a million sets of missile silos. Very cool. 2023, no date, probably holidays next year if I had to guess.
Yeah.
That's sick though, not that far away.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. They've been saying for a while our next project's in its last stage of development.
Yeah.
So hopefully not holiday next year. Do another March one. FromSoft, please.
Do it. This is like more of an indie title only because the studio's not crazy well known. This is called Judas, but it's from one of the makers of BioShock.
Ken Levine.
You can very clearly tell that.
Yeah.
If you watch the trailer for Judas, there's like a little thing on your hand and you can like program fire into it and shit. It's got the very much like the BioShock hands, like the gun and the like, cool. It looks cool.
It's reskinned BioShock, but it looks awesome, right? So who gives a shit?
Right.
Like if it's fun,
2022, it's basically BioShock 4.
Yeah.
Let's get it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
There's no release date for it. Just says wish list it now.
Yeah.
But again, there's another one of those looks cool. You guys might want to know about it. That's the only reason we're talking about it. Moving on. Did you watch this? I'm sure you did. The Dune Awakening premiere.
I did. Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this trailer or this game for that matter.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a Dune MMO. We talked about the announcement of this several episodes ago. Episodes called Dune Awakening. It's like I just don't have high hopes for this, but like the trailer is kind of intoxicating. Like it looks and honestly, the movie is doing all the heavy lifting here.
Yeah.
I liked the movie so much that I want to go back to the world. And this game is my first like window into that because I think it comes out before the next movie.
Yeah.
I don't have. It's a Dune open world survival MMO. There's words don't usually go together. You can sign up for the beta right now. They didn't announce the release date. It's only next gen. It's PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. It could be cool. Could be terrible.
It could. There's not a whole lot to go off of on it, but it seems very moody, which is a good thing. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. This next one is one that historically I was not into the last time that we saw the announcement for it. And I got to tell you a secret. I'm still really kind of not.
Yeah, I can't. It's all right. Announce the game first.
It's Nightingale. It's. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like this. It's supposed to be this survival game, I think. But it's like all these weird styles mashed together. It's like Victorian era, and like some steampunk stuff, and then like it'll have some magic stuff. And there's like orcs in it and monsters, but it's weird. It's like It's like someone threw a bunch of random ideas, fantasy ideas into a grab bag, and then someone was like, "This."
That's what I was gonna say. It's like every component of it is cool in and of itself, but the way it comes together is just so jarring that it's just like, wait, what? Like, what are we doing a Harry Potter thing? Are we doing a Skyrim thing? Or are we what is it? Like, what's the point? It's so all over the place.
Gameplay shots of like wielding a two-handed thing. It's an horse running at you. Okay, looks cool. Fishing. Okay, cool. Survival game. And then they're like in full Victorian era, like regalia, and floating off of a cliff on a Mary Poppins style. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this game? And I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I think I've said this before. The whole Victorian era style clothing and all that, I'm not into it. It doesn't do it for me. And I just don't know what I think about this game.
I think generally I would agree with you with the caveat of Bloodborne. I thought that had a
Victorian Gothic. Yeah, no. If you put the word Gothic in it, I probably like it. I mean that sincerely too. Bloodborne is awesome, but this style of like the weird like top hat with the short overcoat. Fucking what is this? That's turquoise. It's a survival game. Get that shit out of here. Weird, and I don't like it. Something I do like is the announcement for Baldur's Gate 3 and the official full 1.0 release is coming out.
I think it's late next year. I think that one's kind of far off, but it's just nice to have a date.
It is nice to have a date, and the trailer's great. And that
really
rhymed, and it didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, nice to have a date, and the trailer's great. I played. You and Peep, I think you played a bit more than I have, if I'm not mistaken. I played a bit when it first came to early access, and I had a good time with it. And I don't usually play turn-based stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I have KOTOR again from when we're younger, and I loved that at the time. But historically, I don't usually get drawn to those. But I had a really good time with the early access beta. But it's exactly why I stopped playing it, because it's a beta. It's like I was like, this is going to be a massive game. It's not anywhere near finished, and I like, why am I going to sink a ton of time into this? It's going to burn me out, and I'm not going to want to go back to it. So I'm anxiously awaiting this full game release, and the trailer is dope. That's all I got.
I think what is so exciting about Baldur's Gate 3 is that D&D. Obviously, this is D&D 5th edition rule set.
Obviously.
As everyone already knows.
As everyone's aware of.
Tabletop games are just not appealing to some people, and you're one of them. And it's just some people, there's just this bar of, and I get it. Like, it's not a game. You're just talking around a table. It makes perfect sense to me. I love them. I think they're a blast. I don't blame anyone for not liking them. So there's been these attempts for decades to bring like the system of Dungeons and Dragons and applying it to a video game. And you have some that work like KOTOR, but that's really just like sort of the numbers happening behind the scenes are what's D&D inspired there. The things like picking feats, but there's no like roles and shit like that, like there is in D&D. You have games like Baldur's Gate, which are fun game 1 and 2, I should say, that are fun for the tabletop crowd. You have like the Pathfinder games that have come out recently that are fun for people who like tabletop games, but there really hasn't been a game yet that's the Dungeons and Dragons tabletop game that's a video game that's fun for people who don't play tabletop games. That's what I think this is. I think they finally figured out the fucking solution to like make it appealing.
Secret of the use.
You're literally rolling dice in this. It's not like it's all just you click and the number generation happens behind the scenes. You literally, there's a D20 that you click to roll for some of the shit that you do. I mean, like, that's what Dungeons and Dragons is. But it doesn't feel like you're a fucking dork sitting around a table with a character sheet. It's all automated, on screen. Great UI, great voice acting, great graphics. The combat is so fucking fun, and it just feels so, I don't know, it just feels good. I don't know if you play the Divinity games, Studio Larian. Is it Larian?
No.
They made those as well, and those are very highly renowned RPGs as well. So they were the ones to do it. Like, I think if anybody could have done it, it was them, and it seems like they're going to. But I have not, despite committing the entire $60 to an early access game, which is something I would normally like lay down on a fucking railroad track over. Because I knew the ambition of this game and how long they wanted it to be and how vast they wanted it to be. And traditionally in Dungeons and Dragons, you have a level cap of 20, and the most of level cap that they've had through this early access is 4. I'm like, okay, that's not even 1/4 of the way. I'm like, I don't want to devote 40 hours into this game
which you could easily do.
Yeah. And then like it's released in full and I'm like, well, I already played that. Well, now I just bought a game that I didn't even experience the entire. So I had a similar thing to you where I went like, this is awesome. And I want to play this, but I'm shelving it until it's done. Yeah. And so I'm super excited for this, like immensely excited.
That's awesome. And you know, as someone who self-described does not like D&D in its original form, much like you said in the beginning, I can see the opposite. Like, I know that I don't like it, but I can understand why people do. It's the same thing with you. Like, I can understand why people don't. Why I can see why people do. I mean, you know, you're sitting around with your buddies, you're having a good time. You're making your own fantasy story. And I get it. I understand why it's appealing. I get it. Well, I use the precursor in a lot of ways to modern video games and a lot of the nerd culture that we live in now. I couldn't do it. It's just something in my brain. It did not tickle. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously KOTOR, I fell in absolute love with. It was such a unique thing for me when it came out. I had never played a turn-based anything like that. And I thought it was really cool. And then they used it in some other titles. Dragon Age Inquisition has a feature where you could pause combat, pick all your moves for your next guys. And I really thought that was great. You know, Mass Effect does it to a very small degree where you could pause combat and pick abilities to make them line up and get special effects. So more of the story comes out in August 2023. Looking forward to it, and it looks cool.
Very good.
Moving on. Something else coming out in 2023 that looks cool, which could be the segue for almost every trailer we have in here. Did you play Remnant from the Ashes?
I didn't, but I'll tell you something. Okay,
tell me.
I want to now.
Oh. The first one's pretty cool. If you can find it cheap, you should pick it up. It's also a blast to play with your friends. So I remember when it came out, and there was kind of like this swell of activity for it. Like a bunch of people were streaming it. It kind of hit. It wasn't like a massive, crazy runaway, like a Valheim success where everyone and their mom picked it up. But I remember a lot of groundswell, like chatter about it. A bunch of streamers were playing it. A lot of my friends picked it up. And the way it was being described to me was like, oh, it's a little bit Dark Souls with guns, and it's heavily focused on multiplayer playing with your friends. And that's exactly what it is. And it was a good time. And I only put like 15, 20 hours into it. I never beat it. But it was very good. The combat is very punishing. It was a great time. If you're going to pick up the first one, I'm 1,001% down. We could play it as our next game. We
could be the next cynical stream.
It's fun.
Feels a little bit like Dead Space 3 should not have been our inaugural
what are you talking about? We're known for horror on this podcast.
Yeah, no, it's been a good time, but boy, I'm glad it's almost over.
Boy, howdy. The brother. What was the other one? Fuck, I just made this joke earlier. I'm losing my mind. This trailer looks sick for the sequel to it, Remnant 2. And it looks like more of the stuff that made the first one really cool. So I'm excited for it. This also comes out in 2023. Next gen only, it looks like, which is great. I love that I keep being able to say that about stuff. Because really, fuck the last generation at this point, right? Like the new consoles have been out for 2 years.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. You got to
move on.
You got to take the dog out back, and
you know what you do from there.
You know what you do from there. You play with it and give it a bath. It's a shiny new coat of paint. Okay, moving on. Listen, I'm not going to be negative about this trailer, but because it's a cool trailer, admittedly, I think. This is for Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. But here's the thing. I've never really been into Warhammer 40,000.
Me neither. I've never been into any Warhammer.
It's like this culture of my friends who paint like minifigs and stuff. And shout out to Travis, who's fantastic at it. But it's like I always see him painting like Warhammer minifigs, and they look sick. It's always felt like a knockoff of like another fantasy series that I can't quite put my finger on. maybe Warcraft. I don't know, but it's not really because it's like Space Marine. It's Starcrafty, maybe a little bit. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Their suits make them look like the Terran Marines from Starcraft. Someone's going to tell me how wrong I am and all the reasons for it, I'm sure. But I've never really gotten into Warhammer 40K. And this trailer was cool, but I don't really have a lot to say about it because I don't know much about the rest of the franchise. So it comes out in 2023. And if you're into Space Marine, it looks like you're going to be happy.
Yeah. Neither do I. There's the like social hierarchy of tabletop shit is like how other people look at people who play D&D as like nerdy. People who play D&D look at people who play Warhammer as nerdy. Like that's how it, like it's always good. You know what I mean? Like when we were kids, like everything is popular now, but when we were kids, it was like, oh, you're a nerd if you watch Star Wars, but at least you still had Star Trek fans to make fun of. It's like there was one rung below you. It's kind of similar to that. I never got into Warhammer. It seems like a really cool world with a lot of cool lore, but it's too far in for me to even know where to begin, so I never will. This gameplay does look very fun, but amongst the Warhammer community, I see them talk about it in the gaming groups that I follow. Yeah. There's like this curse where like a good Warhammer video game just cannot be made. And some of them are like, seem like they're initially good. There's something called like Darktide that just came out.
Yeah.
That, like,
I heard Darktide was dope.
And so that's how everybody felt. And then apparently you just hit this wall with it where it just kind of makes you think it's dope for like a week. And then it's like, oh, this game actually sucks ass.
Oh.
So yeah, no, I'm happy for you if you're happy for it.
Right.
But this is a
love
pass
that for
me.
you.
Love that for you.
I mean it sincerely. Once again.
Mine was borderline. Mine was right down the
Mine was maybe I do, maybe I don't. Okay. Here's a weird one. And it was, I think, a total surprise to everybody. It's a game coming out. It's called Grand Theft. I'm just kidding. It's not Grand Theft. It looks like maybe a spinoff attempt at stealing some of the marketplace away from Grand Theft Auto. It's called Crime Boss. Comes out March 2023, March 28th, another March one. And it's chock full of like celebrities you know, but people might not care about anymore. That's how I'll describe it. And people like, again, I did knock on him a little bit there, but people like Michael Madsen, Kim Basinger, I don't know how you pronounce it. Damian Poiter, Danny Trejo, Danny Glover, Michael Rooker, and then Vanilla Ice and Chuck Norris. And it's this crazy. I mean, the trailer, if someone just put GTA on the end of it, I would have just assumed this was GTA 6. Yeah. I mean, down to the poster, it's like this colorful, stylized thing. And it looks like they're de-aging a lot of these guys. And Danny Glover looks like he's right out of fucking Lethal Weapon, which I kind of love, by the way, because I love Lethal Weapon. I don't know what to make of this.
Do you like the Lethal Weapon movies?
I do.
I think they're fucking incredible. I think they're so good. I love buddy cop movies. I don't know why.
You really had me there because I thought you were going to tell me that you thought they were garbage. No. And I also have a very huge soft spot in my butthole called my G-spot for those buddy cop movies.
Yeah, dude, they're really good. I don't know why. They just speak to me. I had Rush Hour, incredible.
They just hit. Yeah. Rush Hour is objectively not a great film, but it's a great film. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Like the Lethal Weapons, the Rush Hours, the Beverly Hills Cop, even. Because Axel Foley and I forget who the token white guy is, who's the best buddy, but like I love those movies. I don't know. It's the 80s and the 90s.
You know what I never saw?
Cop.
And I never saw Bad Boys 1 or 2.
That's pretty good.
There's another one now too, right?
Shit. There's a buddy cop movie with Nick Nolte in it. And I don't think I ever saw it. I'll find it right now. Anyway,
Bad Boys 2 they say is like the best. Oh yeah, right, yeah. So anyway, we're not talking about movies from 30 years ago.
Yeah. 48 Hours is what it's called. I never saw it.
Yeah, no, it's like I don't care. Like it's flashy, but all this is going to end up being
what?
Crime Boss.
I'm sorry.
Is what
it's Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy in a buddy cop movie. I have to go watch it now. Anyway, continue.
There's nothing, whatever. I mean, it's just going to be the actors who were in it. They think that's what's going to make the video game good. Yeah. And it's not.
Come play it because you know faces.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah. No,
fucking Danny Trejo's dressed like Dick Tracy. Like, fucking yellow suit out of here.
Oh, dude, I love Lethal Weapon. Now, I got to watch the Rush Hour movies now, too. See, now I got a whole thing I got to do.
Go sell some McDonald's, fucking hamburglar. Lethal Weapons are so good. I've recently rewatched them like within the last year.
It's been a while for me, except for one. I did watch one 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
With my man Busey with his weird teeth.
Oh, yeah. No,
right? That's the first one, isn't it?
I think it's the first one, yeah. They're just so much fun.
They're a good time.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
Crime Boss, weird trailer.
Last one, let's do it.
Game Awards trailer. We can talk about main topics. This is for Final Fantasy 16. And I liked it. I don't know what to it looks cool. It's all the same things we talked about last time.
Yeah.
I really like that they're doing the medieval thing again. I think it really works for this. There's a lot of crazy like summon fights in this trailer, and it looks good, and I'm looking forward to it.
With every subsequent trailer, like I was never like a naysayer, but with every new one they come out with, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like everyone, I'm like, I'm more into this now. And the other really fun fact is, I don't know if you know this about Final Fantasy, but there's always a character named Sid in all of them.
Yeah,
and so
I've heard that.
The Sid in 16 is voiced by none other than Ralph Ineson, who is, I'm trying to think what you would know him from. He was in The Vivitch. He was the dad that gets killed by Black Phillip. He's in Willow, which we're covering tonight. He's his name Ballantyne or something like that.
Yeah.
Fucking wonderful voice, that guy. It's so
great
gravelly.
voice.
Yeah. So he's voicing Sid in this one. Very excited. Very hard over that. So yeah, but that's it. Like it's like nothing like really all that new was shown. I will say this.
No.
The first two trailers they released, everybody was like, man, this looks like a fucking PS3 game. And it did. Like the graphics were not very good. I really do think that they touched up the models in this one. Like some of the facial animations were a little better. I'm like, they might have actually listened to people's criticism of those first two because it did look a little more zhuzhed up, you know?
It looks a little juicier for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool shit in this trailer, to be honest, just from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Not a whole lot to say. Looks cool. Coming out in June 2023. Sorry. That's it.
Wait, it has a release date? June 2023?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's coming out in June, Dad.
Usually Square announces something and it doesn't come out for 8 years, so that's why I'm surprised.
Yeah,
there was literally when 15 was announced, it took 10 years for that game to come out. Like absurd.
Uh-oh.
This looks so cool. This
is like Celebrity Deathmatch. Who's going to win? Diablo's coming out June 6th, and this is coming out June 22nd.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy both.
Play Diablo until, play Diablo incessantly until Final Fantasy comes out and then play both. Yeah, it looks good. All right, we got to move into main topics. I have a quick mention because there's a lot of cool stuff in this that there's still trailers we didn't talk about. There's stuff that I don't think you or I are necessarily that into. Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8. Mm-hmm. Post Trauma looked cool. There's something called Immortals of Avum. I have Remnant 2 in here, but then I decided to put the trailer in there anyway.
Yeah.
Dead Cells is Sales.
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells has a cool DLC coming out. It's a cross promotion with Castlevania. It's like Return to Castlevania. Pretty
sweet.
There's a Hellboy game that's very stylized. I'm not sure that I'm on board with the style of it. There's a game called Viewfinder. They all get honorable mention. I watched all the trailers. I thought they looked cool. This is all stuff that like.
Oh, also watch the Lords of the Fallen trailer if you haven't.
I didn't actually.
Both to you and to the listener.
It's
the sequel to the first Souls-like ever, Lords of the Fallen. I'm telling them, not you. I know you know. I know you're informed. I'm talking to our uninformed fan base. It was a really cool trailer. It's very dark fantasy, very sexual. Definitely watch that when we're done recording.
Guess what? I'm going to watch it. All right, main topics. We got to be turning and burning. What do you want to do first? Willow. Okay, easy peasy. I kind of gave you base thoughts on this the other day, and so I won't bury the lead. I will say that I like the show so much so that I did something last night. I went back and watched the original.
I'm gonna do it too. I decided I want to. Sorry, I got
then I'll
too excited
save
for that.
thoughts for that one.
Okay, great, thank you.
Because I feel like it's good that I watched it. But also, and I'll leave it at that. I really like this show, and it's got this weird blend of like positive fantasy. Like I don't. It's so weird. I'm so used to this dark, dour Game of Thronesy fantasy that's on television now, and so to go back to something that has any levity in it feels a little weird sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's definitely, don't get me wrong, there's definitely some cheesy or silly stuff in the show, but it'll then just go right into some badass spell casting bad guys, and I'm really here for it. I like the show. I didn't expect to even give a shit about it, and I'm really on board with it.
I was like scoffing at the show because it's really like, it's like teen fantasy is the only way I can put it. It's like,
that's a good point.
It's very like just fucking like too sweet humor. That's the only way I can describe it. Like tiramisu, like it's just like too much. But
like
for some reason, like as much as I'm like talking shit on it, every time I'm like, well, I'm just gonna watch the next one, right? Why not? Like there's something about it that's dragging me on. I don't know why I like it. I don't think I could recommend this show because it's really corny and it's really like childish isn't the word because that sounds like snooty, but there's something about it that's like there's just something about it that's fucking good. It looks good. That's a big part of it.
It does look very good.
I think with fantasy, it's so hard to do a realistic fantasy and have it not look fucking ridiculous, like just idiots in costumes. This doesn't look like idiots in costumes. It's very well done.
It's a good trick to pull off, yeah.
And the CGI, there's a lot of it, but it doesn't like, it's not overbearing. It doesn't look cartoony. Like they do the practical stuff where they need to, for the most part. But no, it's good. The main thing about the show that I love is that it does something that I think not enough fantasy does well, which is mage combat. I feel like in every like video game, show, movie, book, whatever, the wizard is always just a guy who stands in the background and like chants for 45 minutes while everyone else holds everyone back just to summon like a single spire of lightning and then everything's done. This actually makes like the wizards and like the dark magic users, they're like in the fight, right? They're like fucking dodging swings and slinging spells and stuff. Like that's something Harry Potter did very well.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
it's very sexual.
They're not, it's extremely sex. It's very deep sex where they're not just standing on the opposite ends of the room, like flicking their, it's very like, you know, they're doing backflips and shit, flipping wizards, dude. Got to get them flip wizards in.
It's definitely the episode title.
Flip wizards, dude.
I have it, but actually have to be flip wizards, comma, dude.
Perfect. Yeah, no, it's good. I like it. I can't wait for the next episode, and I'm gonna watch the movie. But like what you did, I'm
flip wizards
ready for that. Like I didn't go and like, I bet you this is gonna be incredible. I just went in like, I just feel like I need to watch this to keep watching the show.
I know what you mean. So, well, okay, so we both know Willow will get ragged on a lot. I knew it before I watched the show. I knew it before I went back to watch the movie. Again, I just felt like I wanted and needed to at this point because I'm into the show, and I wanted to see the things that inspired it. I would say the biggest problem with it is it does some of the things that just don't feel like they age well.
Yeah,
from the movie, but fucking
like special effects or like culturally.
Yes. Little a column A, little a column B.
Like they're like, I suppose we'll bring the black one with us, and you're like, whoa, 1980s. That was okay even then.
Kilmer's a gem in it, though. I forgot.
I keep forgetting he's in it. They show clips of him in the show, like the first episode of the show.
Yeah. Still looks good though. The movie still looks good. There's only like one effect.
Oh, I
that
thought you meant Kilmer. I was like, no, he does not.
No. Well, I mean, he's got valid reason.
Yeah.
Episode 88, Flip Wizards, dude. Flip Wizards, dead. We got to just think of a thumbnail now. Okay, move on. I think Willow's been really good so far. I think you kind of opened my eyes as to, I think combat's a big part of it. A lot of the dialogue is cheesy. I like the characters more than I expected to, especially.
Say it.
More. What's
the Borman? Yes,
Borman.
I agree. He's
great.
He's what I was like. I don't know if I'm gonna. And then like he just started talking. I'm like, I'll show up. I'll keep showing up for you, bud.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's a cool character. Just the whole like, I don't know, like the King's Guard that got like infected. and like turned and he was possessed by evil. It was something that's just about the whole concept. I'm like, I'm just digging this. It's fun. It's a fun fantasy romp, you know? And then they have the nice moment at the end where the young girl, I forget her name, she has to kill him. And he's like, it has to be you. And I was like, wow, this is kind of getting me a little bit. I don't really know much about this world, but like, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it. I think it's cool. I think we'll talk more after you watch the movie because I'm I can't wait to talk about it.
I'll try to squeeze it in by next Monday. I got it. Like I've got finals and shit this week, but I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can follow you do.
Let's see what I can follow you do. Did you watch Senior?
I did. Can I go first?
You can.
What a treat this movie was, right? Do you agree? Did you like it?
I couldn't tell if you were being facetious or not. Yeah, no, it was lovely.
No, I like when you suggested this, I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And then afterwards I was like, why are we covering a fucking documentary on the pod? And then I watched it and it was like, this is such a sweet film. And it illuminated some things about Robert Downey Jr. for me, even though it wasn't about him. Yeah. I've always seen him as like, it seems like the camera never stops rolling for him. He always seems like he's acting to me.
Yeah.
And he kind of addresses that in this, where like he has lived his entire life in front of a camera. So he kind of always is in his like acting sort of like public persona.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It was really gut-wrenchingly sad to see a dude like decline through dementia. And well, I think he had Parkinson's.
Yeah, Parkinson's.
But man, I had so many thoughts for this and I honestly can't think of any of them. And it's now been 2 weeks since I watched it, but it was really just the whole time. I was so transfixed by this, and just Senior's humor, like his just stupid little one-liners that he said were so like, I actually laughed out loud watching this. And I think like the whole point of the movie was to get some of the attention off of Junior onto Senior. And it did that very well. Like, I just never would have thought of this guy. I never would have known anything about him or what he did. And now it was a very intimate look into his life. And I just feel like I know him better. And it was just incredibly well done. It was super well done. And I do love this new, like there's a sort of a rising thing in movie industries where it's like, you have people who make movies, and then there are people who make movies about making movies. And then this is a movie that was made about a guy who makes movies. It's like kind of meta. Yeah. But it's just interesting to see like the camera behind the camera. I don't know. It was just a cool look into the world of a filmmaker. I loved it. It was like 10 out of 10. I couldn't stop talking about it for like 3 days after I watched it.
That's really sweet. For the record, if I ever suggest something and you go, why are we watching this? Feel free to say that.
It didn't occur to me until I was like going to hit play. Like when you meant, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then I was like, we're watching a documentary. Like, and then within not even 10 minutes, I was like, this is a fucking joy. Like I was immediately sucked into it.
I'm glad you liked it. But yeah, sometimes I need to be reined in. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, that's cool. We'll do that. And I need someone to go, why though? Like,
no, it was really excellent. I'm glad I watched it.
I should go without. I ugly cried in this fucking movie so many times. I knew that the movie was about him and about their relationship, but I know that the trailer touched on some moments where Downey's, concerned about losing him and living life without. I didn't realize we were going to have him pass before the film was over.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very worst case scenario. I thought the movie would have ended and then it would have said something like Senior passed 3 days, 4 weeks, 2 years after. But loving tribute by a son to a father, right? Like that's what I'm thinking the whole time. I'm like, he just made this monument to his father.
Yeah.
And his father's life and the good and the bad. He didn't hide anything. He talked about being introduced to hard drugs at a very young age. A lot of very illuminating things about Downey that you're like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And just, like you said, just seeing him and his dad play off each other. There's just a magic in watching just the realness of those interactions, those things that you can't make up with a script, that you can only emulate when you write words on paper. And it was a beautiful, moving film, and really happy that I'm happy I watched it. But holy shit, did fucking Kleenex just got like their stock price went up with how many fucking tissues I went through when I watched this movie.
It got me pretty good because again, like when I think it opens up with Junior like doing his little like, here's what the movie's about, and I'm like, this fucking guy, like it's going to be all about him. It's always all about Robert Downey Jr. And then he, like I said, throughout he addresses sort of his need to be in front of the camera. And then there's even the part towards the end where he's talking with his, I'm assuming, therapist about how he acknowledges it, how weird he feels. He's like, I'm documenting my dad's death. He's like, but I'm just afraid I'm going to miss something. Like, that's what we always did. We made movies. We recorded everything. Yeah. And so I feel like this is the end. Shouldn't it be, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but like, shouldn't that be in front of the camera as well? And I'm like, it just made me understand him more. It made me understand his dad. Like, it was just an illuminating movie. I'm so happy I watched it. It was incredible.
I'm getting sad all over again thinking about it.
Right. If you want to get really sad, how about the end when Senior's talking to Junior, not realizing that it's Junior? He's, have you met my son? And he says, Robert, yeah, I'm getting to know him. So it was like, oh, dude, come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That hurt. I can feel it again. God damn it. That movie fucking had me by the emotional testicles just squeezing. It was a good movie. It was very touching. Lovely film. And I hope it was therapeutic for him, to be honest. It's on the whole time I kept thinking, I'm like, I hope this accomplishes what he wants it to for him. I hope that he's able to cherish having this for a long time. I saw that, there's brief snippets of his relationship with his son. He's like, do you want to watch Grandpop's movies? And what I guess what I'm getting at is it looks like that humor and that love really translated from him to his son. And that's awesome. Anyway, moving on. You watched Spirited.
I did.
I have no idea how you feel about it. I'm curious. Well, carry on.
I thought that the music was really poorly done. Like I didn't know it was a musical going in. And so,
I tried to warn you that but I didn't want to say musical.
Yeah.
So I think my exact words were, there's more singing than you would expect.
Yeah. And like the humor in it was really good, but the songs were just not, like, they just weren't well written. Like they just weren't, I don't know, except for the Good Afternoon song.
Oh, fucking thank you. Because I loved it.
Awesome. The whole, not just the music itself, the whole like piece was
the
just,
idea.
It was so good. No, overall, Veronica and I watched it, and there were kind of points where we were like honed in, and other points we were like, this is kind of, mid, whatever. And both of us the next day were like, when we got home from work, I was like, I've just been thinking about that movie, and I kind of really do like it. Like, I didn't realize how much I liked it when I was watching it. And she said the same thing. And it's just like, I don't know why, like, it didn't do anything new. It's like, you should be good to people. But it did do it in a kind of new way. It felt like they tacked Ryan Reynolds' death on in the end just to, get an emotional aspect out of it. But I mean, they wrapped it up well. I don't know what to say. It was really good. I think this is going to be a regular Christmas movie for us. It's just like, I liked the message of it. It was less like, oh, once you're redeemed forever and everything's okay. And it was more of a message of like, you have to do this every day. You have to wake up every single day and say, I'm going to be a good person. And I just like that more than just like, oh, I had my revelation and now I'm done learning and, everything is fixed forever. I liked that more sort of realistic, but still cheerful message that it had to it. It was very good. I
feel like I'm 2 for 2 today, and I'm glowing because of it right now. I tried to tell you like nothing of my thoughts on it. I think I might have told you I liked it, but that I didn't go. Sam and I, like, unironically ended up just loving this movie, and it's weird because you're right. Like, not all the music's great. Good Afternoon is hilarious. I love that song.
It was incredible.
But two things kind of hit me.
Judi Dench just walks through the piece, and
he was like, "Is that Judi Dench?" Yeah, and she never shows back up again. She wasn't like a cameo at the end or an important character. They were like, hey, Judi Dench is on set today. You want to make a joke?
Yeah.
So this movie kind of felt like watching an instant classic when we were watching it. And not like in a like a this is a revelatory or amazing, but it's the message that you pointed out. And Sam and I were like, oh, I really love this. Like, the whole deal on paper sounds like almost something like a corporate boardroom would like write down and be like, oh, I get it. He's going to be Scrooge. We're not going to tell anybody that, but he's going to be Scrooge, and they're going to run a business about redeeming other people.
How far into the movie did you realize he was Scrooge?
I don't know when it dawned on me. I didn't document that.
I'm going to suck my own dick and say it immediately. I fucking called it within like 5 minutes. Then I swear to God, I was like, he's Scrooge. 100% he's Scrooge.
I don't remember how early they called Marley by his name, but I think not too long after that, I was like, wait, if he's Marley, who's he going to be?
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, no, you pointed it out already, but it's worth rehashing it. It was really kind of refreshing for me to see a movie. It feels like they don't give lessons like that anymore. Like, this is not a given. It's not like a switch that was flipped. And a lot of people who do become better it's like survivor's guilt. Like, I was such a dick can I ever be a good person? And I thought it really dealt that solid message in a great way. And you know what? It wasn't, you said the death tacked on thing. That bit of writing actually surprised me. I thought it was just going to be happy ending. He's better.
Yeah.
And then he runs out in front of the bus. And I remember he runs out in front of the bus and it freezes. And I went, oh, like it got me. I was like, oh shit, they're going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did. They stuck to it. He didn't come back to life. He, takes over his job. It surprised me because I expected so little from it, which is like, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, I went in thinking this will be mediocre at best because it's two people I'm sick of seeing in every movie.
Yeah.
And I've really loved it. And I'm glad that you liked it.
It was, I'll say this. I felt like his death was tacked on. It was still sad. And when he was like, wait, I can't die, but he said something to the effect of like, well, if I saved you, then your decision to do that would mean nothing if there were no consequences for making that decision. Right. Again, just another, you just typically don't see that kind of shit in feel good movies. Usually it's like, but okay, I'll give you one more try.
Yeah,
it's like, no,
exactly.
they killed him. You're dead.
Yeah.
So it just had like while maintaining a Christmas cheery movie, it had a very like real, it was just more, I don't know, it was just a more modern message.
Yeah. And I think he might have, when he realized, he was like, but I'm so young. Like he was like, what? I'm dead? And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, you're dead, dude. Yeah, it was fun. I liked it a lot. I'm glad that you liked it once more. And I have a good feeling about this last topic too. Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro. I watched this in 2 parts. That's because I started it too late last night. So to finish it today. And I mean, I only have one qualm about this entire film. I thought it was breathtakingly gorgeous, surprising, fun, heartwarming. Made me cry, of course. It's not hard to do, but made me cry. And it's so funny because I love him, but I did not like Ewan McGregor's cricket. Every time he
really?
No.
Dude, he was my favorite part, like by a mile.
He just kept popping in. It felt like comedic relief.
Yeah.
Like, I never laughed.
Really?
Yeah,
I laughed every time. Every time he comes in to like try to like, hey, I'm the voice of reason. He gets like hit by a fucking door or something. I loved it.
Listeners, this is what you're here for.
For the disparity.
You hear the yin and the yang.
Right.
We both love the film, but for different reasons.
You called it breathtakingly gorgeous, and I just feel like you can't skip over that. Every single dude. The color palettes, like even just down to like the sky in the background, like even if you took away all this beautiful claymation in motion, all these beautifully crafted pieces and beautifully crafted towns and sets and blah, blah, just like even the colors of the sky in the background, you could just look at that and go, holy shit, like this is so fucking pretty. And then of course there's all the other shit to look at too. Character design was like, as always with Del Toro, fucking god tier. Please go ahead.
I'm like half about to cry because I was just thinking about the next point I was going to make, which is about some of the emotional stuff. And then I laughed because I was, the other person's talking and you're going through like, yeah, that's a good point. I'll have to make sure I bring that up and add this to it, stuff like this kind of, and I went, and in my head I went, oh, and I didn't realize Mussolini was in this. And I was like, oh, it's like a surprise Mussolini. And I went, fuck, that would have been a good episode title. Surprise Mussolini. Yeah, sorry, continue.
No, that's it. It's just a gorgeous fucking movie. We didn't really touch on story yet. I'll let you take the reins on that one.
Do you know, like, I know the Disney version of Pinocchio is altered. They do that a lot. I know Disney also did not create Pinocchio, I don't think, right?
No,
I thought it was like an old.
So. I think that's why this can exist.
So, and I was under the impression, I guess I should go look it the fuck up with my fingertips at the internet with the breadth of all human knowledge. I was under the impression the original Pinocchio story is much more dour and a lot sadder, like this movie takes turns into at some points. But I'll tell a quick story. It doesn't take a lot to make me cry, and of course this movie had several moments. The standout though was, so I watched this film, and then Sam and Grayson they had to go to the store, so they went grocery shopping and went to Walmart, did some errands, and came home, and then we cooked dinner. And Grayson and her walked in, and I went down to say hi, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, come here." And he walked over, and I picked him up, and I walked over to Sam, and I literally hugged them both, and I was like, "I love you both very much, and I don't tell you enough." And because there's that chunk of the movie where Pinocchio is learning having one of those revelatory moments in the growth of human emotions, where he's talking to the spirit. And one of the times when he died, and I know you know where I'm going with this, but just for the audience, they're talking and he's like, "It's great. I can't die. I can get shot. I can get run. I've been shot. I've been run over. And I just come back." And he's like, "It's wonderful." And she's like, "Wonderful." He's like, "Life is full of suffering." And some would say that eternal life could be full of eternal suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Because you never know how much time you have left." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "You're immortal, but your father's not immortal, and your friends aren't immortal." And it's not a new concept, but it's the way she explains it to him. And then she hits him with the fucking emotional banger of a line where she goes, "Each moment could be your last." And she's like, basically, you don't know how much time you have left with people. And he has that. He's like, "Oh shit." He has that emotional maturity epiphany, and goes back and of course that made me sob like a child. And then I hugged my wife and son, because it's true. You never know how much time you have left with the people you love.
Yeah.
It's fucking getting me again. God damn it. I am a man. Testosterone. I summon you. Anyway. And then at the end, I mean, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall.
I didn't. I thought to mention it in theory was one thing, but I didn't know they were actually going to show everybody except him die. That was really. And
sorry, that's not what I meant.
Oh, then please continue.
That part also.
Yeah.
The part I meant was, you knew that he learned the lessons, and then he was going to go back, because she was like, "You can't. You're a real boy. It's your last life." And I was like, well, he's going to go back and he's going to save his father. And then because earlier on in the movie, when they were like, "Well, we'll get one wish if you do your job right." I'm like, something's going to happen. He's going to wish he's a real boy. You are correct though. Holy shit. Showing everyone dying was incredibly, you're like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, it was awful. And even there was the scene, it's like, I should have known better because it's Guillermo del Toro, but it's like, you think Pinocchio and you think kids movie. And there's the beginning where Carlo dies, and then Geppetto is just drunk, sobbing under the tree, begging to God, "Why aren't you answering my prayers?" And it's like, holy shit, dude. What the fuck? I mean, it was really an emotional ride.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was just good. It felt it felt almost like an epic, right? It wasn't just I'm Pinocchio and this is just my little story in my town. He's being swept away on these adventures where he's learning this, this lesson and that lesson. And everywhere he goes, these people who initially don't like him because he's not a real boy just end up, they can't help it because he's so youthful and kind. Spazzatura, the monkey, and the little fascist guy's son, just everybody just ends up loving him. Dude,
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz as, I can't think of his name.
Volpe.
Volpe, yeah, Count Volpe.
Count Volpe?
Was
Holy
like,
shit.
every spoken line was poetry. Like, every fucking line that he said was just like...
Does he have the best villainous voice of all time? Because I feel like he might.
He really
It was
does.
so good.
He was great. Everybody was great. Ron Perlman was that fascist guy. There was a bunch of good... Spazzatura the monkey who just like, woo, woo, ah, that was fucking Kate Blanchett.
Fucking what?
Yeah, yeah.
I think Tilda Swinton was the
Tilda
spirit.
Swinton was the wood spirit. Yeah. Lot of big names. Really, really incredible movie. I don't know why
movie.
it didn't move me to tears. Veronica was sobbing her eyes out at the end.
Yeah, because it's deserved. I'm glad one of you did.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just heartily. It's not like it didn't affect me emotionally. It was very. I think that the scene with the Geppetto by the tree in the beginning was like had more of a chance of getting that emotional reaction from me. But thankfully, it was a short enough scene that it didn't happen. That was really heavy. That was like almost hard to watch. And again, you think Pinocchio, you're like, I remember seeing that when I was 4. You just don't expect that kind of heavy shit from it. And but yeah, beautiful movie, incredible.
Very
super good movie. I had heard you had insinuated in horse chat that it was good, but beyond that, I just had kept hearing people say that it was good.
Yeah.
And that to me is always like the biggest marker of whether a game or book or movie is good, is when it's not being advertised to me left and right, but I just hear people saying like, oh man, I watched
Word
that
of mouth's
movie.
always
It was
the best.
so, yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know if we're done here, but I did want to throw some little tidbits at you.
Okay. 1 second. Last thing I would say about Pinocchio. Well, unless you have other things to say.
That's
about
it for
Pinocchio.
me. No.
Okay. Yeah. Guillermo, like this just embodies like this beautifully sad is like a phrase that is so much of his work. And I just, like you, I loved it. So I'm not saying anything new, but the movie is really, you should absolutely go watch it. It's gorgeously animated. It's a wonderful story.
Didn't his mom die in the middle of him making this too? And it's like a story about you going on when your loved ones die.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really sad. I just realized that.
His mother passed away right before the world premiere.
Oh, so it was done being made. Still, though, it doesn't.
And he said that this was a special story for the both of them, and that makes it all the more touching. And that's it. Go fucking watch it, idiot. It's on Netflix. It's really
very good. It's very, very good.
Tidbits, titty bitties.
Just that Bullet Train. I actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I think you already watched it. Is on Netflix. And Prisoners, which is one of Dennis V's early movies with starring Hugh Jackman, is also on Netflix. And I've always heard just great things about that movie. So just something to
I'd like to watch Prisoners. We can
rattle
discuss
around in the noggin.
Main topics, I guess. I've mostly seen Bullet Train. Like I know what happens, but where I watched it, it was not. It wasn't like I was sitting home watching it. Like we put it on at work.
Right. Oh, okay. I thought you said you and Sam watched it for some reason.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up, but did you watch any Doom Patrol?
I didn't. No.
I watched like 2 more episodes, and I remember I was like, oh yeah, this show's pretty good. Like it's really weird, and off the wall, and sometimes it feels like they're doing off the wall just to do off the wall, but it doesn't change the fact that like the characters are written well.
Yeah,
and that's really the strongest. Like it doesn't look great. Cyborg's costume looks fucking ridiculous.
It's really bad. Yeah.
But like it's written very well. Anyway, I'm going to watch more, but I know we didn't set like a limit not a limit. We didn't set like an episode count or even discuss how many we were going to talk about. That's going to do it though. Cause boy, howdy. For the 3rd time today.
Boy, howdy.
What a big episode.
Yeah.
We had, but I have one very important question for you.
Yes, sir.
Where can everybody find you?
They can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD.
MDs. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Crispy Mana. That's right. I rebranded. If you weren't here for that, you should go back and listen to it. CRISPYMANA. Mana, not mana. I'll sue you if you say it wrong. Lord Crispy himself cometh. I streamed quite a bit last week. I streamed like 3 days, I think, mostly Valheim because I'm checking out the update. I haven't played it all this week. I'm probably going to play some more tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm streaming tonight because we got to mix the pod. Also, I would like to formally apologize to our tens of listeners I just realized I didn't put the VOD up for last week. And I'm like behind on the Dead Space stuff on YouTube specifically. Obviously.
Oh, I never even gave you my clip from our last TCS. I'll upload that with this file.
Yeah, it's because I don't know. I've been drinking too much, and that like fucks everything else in life up. Right? Like I just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop again. That's not why. It's not like I've been drinking my life away, and that's why I didn't mix the pod. But I actually forgot about the pod last week.
I've got this surgery coming up. I can't drink for like months, so I'm gonna drink until then for sure, and then I'll stop.
That's good enough. Yeah, tomorrow's full on back to the diet, so I won't have another drop until at least the weekend. And I was in a great rhythm with that. It was like
me too. It's so easy to fall out of that. My God,
I know. Yeah, it's tricksy, right?
You
but
feel
we're losing
good
weight.
Once you're in it, but it's true. It's true.
We're doing it.
And
it's okay. Staying positive about it. You actively are right now. I got to get back to it. Anyway, we got to go. We'll see you next week and reminder, that'll be the last one for I don't know how long. It's really up to Derek's recovery. No pressure.
Yeah. I'll have Veronica set my mic up in my bed so I just look like weak and pathetic.
Yeah, don't. That would be great. Just have the camera staring at your wrapped up hip.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, this is episode 88. We're going to call it Flip Wizards, dude. We'll have to figure out a thumbnail for it. It's got to be something video game awards related.
Yeah.
I made some stupid joke about the Batman Returns poster with Men of the Glory Hole. Maybe I'm lazy and that's all we do. I don't know, but I'll talk to you next time.
I'll talk to you then, pal.